doesn't. Should be splendid. What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. Good afternoon and good evening. I said I would be back here today, but I wanted to show you a video that I was trying to show you last night, and we had technical difficulties with the streaming software. So right at the beginning, I just want to say that if we have issue tonight, then just keep refreshing. Just keep going out of the channel and coming back and seeing what is the first video that's available, that like on the home page, not videos, not live, just on the home page. When you go to the channel, it'll tell you what's live and what, that's our escape clause. And I'll be trying to reestablish us back here on this end. Let me see if I have sound. What's live and what, yeah. That's our escape clause. And I'll be trying to reestablish us back here on. I'm only doing this because it kept coming up in my feed, I don't know, a few days ago or something. I just kept seeing a Michael Jackson impersonator dancing on a subway train. I think the title said something else, so I clicked on it for whatever it said, but it was just this Michael Jackson dude doing Billie Jean. And then I think I got distracted from the original reason I had clicked on it, because he was doing Michael Jackson. I told you guys, and I've shown you pictures and video on the old channel of me impersonating Michael Jackson. I impersonated Michael for many years professionally, and I made a lot of money doing it. So I was evaluating him as a choreographer and also as a Michael Jackson impersonator. I didn't know this was in any way associated with anything other than just this guy doing Michael Jackson. And somewhere, I feel like it was today, I kept seeing the Michael Jackson dude again. And then I was beginning to understand that this is this guy that was murdered by this white devil. In preparing to bring this to you today, I noticed that everybody, because all the white media speaks with the same forked tongue, so all of them are saying Marine veteran. That's like his first and last name, and then the rest of his name is like his surname and all of that. Marine veteran. When, alas, we know of many of our victims at the hands of white demons, primarily police, or paid murderers, who have served in the military and were veterans, but that never gets mentioned. We find that out later. Oh, they also were, served in the military. Every once and again we may get a military photo, but they lead with this. And I suggest to you it should be a double-edged sword, because if you're a Marine, then that, to me, in my mind, translates to professional fighter. Like if you kick somebody or you hit somebody over the head and you go to court for assault, and you're just a layman, that's one thing. But if we find out you happen to be a martial art expert, then it becomes something else, because you are essentially a weapon. Your person is considered a weapon, and it's a higher level of assault and intent, especially if it results in death. So this guy, this demon, is a Marine veteran, which always sounds weird to me for somebody that's not even 30. I think this guy is 25 years old. You're not a veteran at anything at 25. You're not. You're not. But they're leading with that. And then I learned that he wasn't even arrested. And of course, they tell the lie, which I've told you over the years, never accept this. They died later at the hospital. That never happens. We were dead on the scene. They even told that lie in the original report about George Floyd. Remember, I brought you the original report they had written before they knew there was a video. But we didn't need that report because we know that's what happens. They claim you died later at the hospital. You know, going back, even to the assassination of President Kennedy, it's on record that he died at the hospital. He was dead in the car. He was dead in the car after that third shot to the head. Dead. Done. But he died at the hospital, according to the liars that tell it. I'm also disgusted once again because it's the same fucking record, dude. That's why I put in the title, Weak Ass Black Men. Because as I evaluate it and give my assessment and my finding, black men on a whole are not worthy of any praise for valor at all. At all. Indeed, my observation tells me that black men look for a reason to be cowardice, to bitch out, And I don't know, I had this conversation with somebody else recently again, or maybe it was here on a live stream. Like, why are brothers even working out? Why are you working out? What are you getting in shape for? What are you getting in shape for? What? And I proclaim that it's just for other niggas. That's it. To pose and to be tough around your own people. But you are a bitch when it comes to dealing with the out in the open enemy of our people across this earth. There are no warriors. You should be training to physically offer a response to the physical attack upon our people, including our women and our children especially. But we don't see that. And so while this is tragic, is it really? Is it? Is it tragic? And if it is tragic, what is tragic about it? It's very easy to go to, oh, someone lost their life. That's not really tragic enough for me now. It's just not. Because it's kind of like a pizza that's really fantastic. After about the 10th pizza, it's good, but it's just not fantastic anymore. It just doesn't have the original je ne sais quoi. It just doesn't have it. And this is that. It's tragic in the fact that, yet again, we're not offering any physical response to violence upon our people. There are no martyrs. I was listening to last night after we finished our live stream. Somehow I got, or it might have been in the wee hours of the morning, I got stuck on this interview that Lorenz Tate was doing. And at one point during the interview, they asked him, said something with regard to something with the industry, and he was talking about royalties and payments, and how the overseas market, a lot of artists, a lot of actors, black actors and actresses, don't usually get to negotiate their deal to receive residual from the overseas sales, because they tell you that the overseas audiences don't receive black actors and actresses. And then he was talking about there was some breakthrough information, and they were asking him about that information. He said, yeah, but it's not shared around. It's not shared. Then earlier I was watching something, Dr. Umar Johnson, and he was saying how they were asking him how he got started, and all of that, and then they asked him specifically, what was your first appearance on the Breakfast Club? And in his answer, he shared that um, he wasn't aware, for all the publicity that the Breakfast Club has afforded him, that he's not aware of any donation to his cause, monetary donation to his cause, that anybody from the Breakfast Club has made. And then saying, they should, but, and then he went on to say something else. And then he said he's not aware of any celebrities, athletes who reach out to him, who he knows personally and stuff like that. Not aware of any of them making any personal contribution, any monetary contribution to his cause. Then I thought about all the years that I have preached, about strength in numbers and how we can get things done if we just do it. That's it. There's nothing to fucking think about or anything. You just fucking do it, because that's what needs to be done. Period. That's it. Not looking for anything in return. You just do the shit because it's the thing to do. And this is the situation here. Now, I haven't seen the whole video, so I don't know how many black people were on the train. It is New York, and trains and buses in any metropolis city are for the poor. They're not for the rich. They can get on it, but it's not there for them. It's an economic base for the city, for the poor to pay their coins, to ride said trains and buses, to rake in revenue for the fucking city. That's it. And especially your black ass. So I have to assume, based on that knowledge, that there would be a lot of black people on that damn train. And I'm trying to figure out how a white devil was allowed to choke out this brother. And then there's some almost black that's helping him. It looks like the guy's trying to restrain his hands or something. He should have been killed off. But when you look in the eyes of this demon, and he's chewing gum, that was not lost on the eyes of the Jedi. He's chewing gum. And I know unequivocally that what was going through his mind in that moment was George Floyd and every other murder of ours that's always broadcast across the earth, which is only an advertisement to white people to say, look, you can kill them and you can totally get away with it. Where is our killing of fucking white people? I ask this now. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Everybody's so preoccupied with trying to cuddle up to fucking white people and show them that they're not against them and shit, and not fucking taking the jugular out, when every day ours is being taken out. And they've always got some replacement group to put in place of you to make it sound like, oh, they're suffering, like these fake ass faggot ass people who can't decide if they're a fucking man or a woman and shit, or these big nose punk fucking looking ass white people who claim they're Jews and shit. The chosen people. No white person is chosen by God. This I know. That I know. How do you know that, Jedi? You're not God. You're not one of the angels. Well, here's why I know. Because the divine has told me. Because Allah has said that the best among you are those who are the deepest in their belief and obedience to Him. White people are not deep in faith, and they're not obedient to God. In fact, they are the antithesis of righteousness and holiness. That's why I say no white person is chosen by God. That's my evidence. You don't like it, take it up with the divine. I want to show you the look in this demon's eyes. How do I do this? Expand. What are you doing, Jedi? Of course, I'm directly in the way. Because why wouldn't I be? Uh, do this. How do I... Wait, no. That doesn't do it. I need to enlarge it so you can see it. And it's not showing up well when I... Anyways, it was just a moment that he glances at whoever's filming. There, you could see it there. You see. And he's chewing gum. I'm not going to play the video because I just can't stand it. You know. And, you know, did this brother even fight back? You know, it seems like niggas go limp, too, when a white man touch them like a bitch. Ugh! You feel me? It feels like that to me. And, then there... Oh, there they are out protesting because white people care so much. The concern is just so admirable, and we've never seen anything like it, and it's just, oh my God. The visual on this is what I need you to see. The value of this is just so you could see who is in the crowd. I'm going to have to show more than one of these because this may not be the best one. Wait, no.
Service demanding justice for Jordan Neely. He died after allegedly threatening.
Yeah, I think there's another one. Oh, here we go. Look.
Tonight,
if I hear that one more time, I will lose every tooth in my mouth. No justice, no peace. No justice means I'm tearing up all your shit. It's rhetoric. It's noise. It don't mean nothing. There's no protest where police should feel comfortable showing up. Because any protest should mean come near us and it's your fucking life. That's what a protest should mean. Not flowers and a police escort and kids and women and shit. It's, I mean, you are a joke, African people. You are a joke. A joke. And there's no provocation for anybody to respect you at all. At all. Respect is something that is demanded. Fuck earned. It's demanded. Do you understand? Should be earned, and it can be earned. But when all else fails, it should be demanded. You understand? Because you teach people how to treat you by what you allow. That is going to be true to the last day of the earth.
Pressure mounting on New York City officials as protesters demand justice in the chokehold death of 30-year-old Jordan Neely. This weekend, demonstrators filling subway stations, some jumping on the tracks and blocking incoming trains.
White people, want to feel like they did something.
trains. Police say they arrested 13 people. Protesters
Arrested 13 people.
angered by what they...
I want to see if you can see this fucker chewing gum. Wait now.
Neely, who was unhoused in a chokehold.
You see, he looked at the camera there.
Aborted
Oh, I might be in the way. Damn it. Ugh. All right. You have to be aware of my own
additional evidence
position.
to suggest that Jordan Neely was acting in a way that a reasonable person would believe that their life was in harm.
Neely has a criminal record.
Boom. Why do we need to know that? Neely has a criminal record. No, he doesn't have any fucking record now, bitch. He's dead. No record. You see? And all we get out of this white devil is that he's a Marine veteran. You feel me? Not to mention he's probably a child molester, as an incest fucker, an alcoholic, definitely on meth, and, you know, a bunch of other shit. But no, Neely had a criminal record. You see? We allow this. If we crack the teeth of everybody that reported that shit, they was like, don't say that. That would not be in the teleprompter. It would be taken off the copy. And anybody who did shit like this, who had us show up at their door and wreck all of their shit and their family, because that's where we at. I don't give a fuck who doesn't like it, who doesn't want to fucking say it. This is where we're at. But they got you scared to death, Negro, to have the proper human fucking response to shit. Damn. Shit you come to Earth loaded with. I was watching a video about raccoons. I love raccoons. But I was rewatching, I was watching a bunch of videos on raccoons. And something else came to me. Because, you know, I've always said to you, creation is not for decoration. Creation is for information. That's what all of creation is for. That's it. There's no dispute in it. It's firm. It's there. It's out in the open. There's no conjecture that can be had. It's there. It is divine. It's brilliant. And it was a mother raccoon and her young babies. Well, they weren't so little. But I noticed that the whole time they were eating, the babies were kind of making sure they, no matter how she moved, they kind of stayed behind her. And close. They didn't wander off. They stayed there and try and stay behind her. If she turned, I noticed they just kind of wiggled their little ass over and just kind of... And it came to me again, because I've said this about birds and cats and dogs. You know, like with birds, there's no flight school. No flight school. We never see a mother bird showing a baby bird how to do its flaps, and you know, this is how you bank, and this is how you do a dive. We don't see that. When their wings come to maturity, they take and fly with perfection and grace. No lesson, nothing. They take to the air and soar. That's it. So, these raccoons that I'm watching, the universe said to me, it is firm, Jedi, that indeed no one has to teach anybody anything. At the end of the day, you come with everything you need to know. Because if the animals have it, why wouldn't Allah give that same thing to us? And we are the crown of creation. So everything is willful. Everything. Because the basic human instinct, the basic human impulse, the basic human fitra is there. You come with it. Puppies, kittens, as soon as their eyes aren't even open, and they know to get to that titty and start doing this to make that milk come out with their little nasty little paws. They're doing this. Eyes can't see that wiggle, but they do it. You see? And they put something else out in front of this raccoons, and they knew they're not supposed to eat that. They know, don't eat that. Nobody's got to come and tell them, you know, well, that's bad for you. You shouldn't eat. No. They know, don't eat that. That's not it. That's not for you. Eat this over here. So any going against the natural impulse of humanity is willful. Now that willfulness can be either conscious or subconscious. And I suggest to you, I don't like to deal in the subconscious realm. Like, oh, I didn't know I was doing it. I just did. It was subconscious. Fuck all that. Because to me, that's another crutching. And I don't like crutching. You understand? To me, it is willful. It's willful. And if it's not, then you need to prove otherwise. And the responsibility is on you to prove that. Like, I don't believe in giving benefits of doubt and free passes to a bunch of shit. It's not, especially not to grown-ass people. I'm just not here for it. So on top of that, of course, the record that we always play would not be complete unless we hear from the family. So let us hear from the family.
F-train.
This is the what's he supposed to be? The Godfather. Where is he? I just had him queued up, but as soon as I hit the button to bring you guys in, I lose him. Here we go.
Come on, man. Like I said, where's the justice?
The video of
Where's your toothbrush? You got gray hair and everything. What's up with your teeth? I mean, even if your teeth are crooked, they should at least be clean. You see? But it's the typical images that we always see. This is his Godfather. Hear this.
Like I said, where's the justice?
Where is it? I'd like to ask him that. Where is the justice? You wait on the very people who murder you to now come and fix it for you. Instead of you saying, fuck that, our trust and our fear, above all, is in the one who creates, and we are now on the hunt for this motherfucker and his family and all who know him. That is justice. Not just earthly, but divine. Do you understand? Listen, when you see these Muslim or these terrorist organizations, and some of them are Muslim, some of them are not. But they always scream Muslim just so that you think that, but fuck that. But some of it is. But when they do shit, they call you up and tell you, this is who we are, and we just fucked up your shit. We did that. You see? Because when you know you're acting in the way of righteousness, you take responsibility for it. Yeah, I fucked you up. What? I did that. Me, over here, me. I fucked you up, me. It was me. It was me. You see? You don't even want to be mistaken as it's not you. The fear, the cowardice. I mean, and it doesn't matter how big the cases get. Some of them are just testing you. That's why the fucker sat on George Floyd in front of a camera and everything. Give a fuck. Because he knew two things. A, I'm white and I get away with this shit. And B, even if I don't, these motherfuckers ain't gonna do shit. They're literally 2 steps from me and they ain't gonna do shit. Look, nanny, nanny, nanny. You ain't gonna do shit. What? It's nothing. That's what white people are doing. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. You see? Yet you can say and do anything to African people in this nation, and it's all fine. See the rest of this, because there's another clip of the Godfather.
of Jordan Neely, placed in a chokehold on an F train Monday afternoon, viewed millions of times online, except for some of his family members. His godfather seeing it for the first time Friday.
Whatever his problem was, it was wrong. However they want to justify it. You know?
No anger. He's sitting there talking as if he is talking about a sports game or just something casual. If I just come to this, I have no idea that he is the family member of somebody who's been murdered. No idea at all. His whole demeanor, nothing about it says that at all. You understand? Knowledge equals action. There should be a certain response if you know your hand is on a hot fucking plate. And when it doesn't, if you see that shit, you run because they didn't respond to the hot ass plate. That's a demon. Watch the demeanor. Hear him.
It was wrong. However they want to justify it. You know what I'm saying? To me, it seemed like it was wrong.
But Neely,
to me, it seems like it was wrong. I didn't even catch that when I was sourcing this to see. I didn't even hear that line before. It's, to me, it seemed like as if it's up in the air. That's disloyal to Jordan. I mean, what? And then this is the father.
Neely's father, understandably too wrought with emotion to talk about it. The whole thing.
Too wrought with emotion to talk about it? That's for the women. Oh, but black men are women. I've got to keep my categories right. I'm sorry. I forgot black men are women. My bad. But in a hypothetical, that would be a man. In a hypothetical, that would be a man. And so in that hypothetical, no man would be too distraught with emotion to talk after your son has been murdered. And it's an international event. And you don't got shit to say? I'm waiting for a microphone to be put in my face with a fucking camera that goes across the earth. It'll be the last fucking thing they film. The last thing. But too distraught. Wow. But wait, there's more. Oh wait, because we want to hear from the attorney. We want to be at 2:01. 2:01. Bring you in. 2:01.
The circumstances, and at the same time, they're dealing with the loss of a loved one. It's traumatic for them as well. It's horrible.
Eyewitness News has learned a grand jury will likely be convened next week to
Will likely be convened just whenever we get around to it, because Bob's on vacation, the wife's having a baby, and they just got a lot of things they got to do. So it's just, likely it'll be convened. But let's hear this other piece, because I forgot about this was in here too. This goes to the evidence that I want to discuss.
possible charges against a 24-year-old former Marine.
Oh, he's 24. I'd say he was 25. That misstates the facts. He's 24.
2001, chokeholds became a part of the Corps'
2001.
martial arts program.
Part of their martial arts program. So we're also hearing that he had no intention of causing harm and had no idea this could end in death. We heard that with the fucker that murdered George Floyd. That's like saying, yeah, I planted the bomb in the office, and I knew it was going to go off, and I had put a bunch of shrapnel in it, but I had no idea anybody would be injured. I couldn't have known. It's out of my hands.
Technique most recently explained in a 2020 military training manual, saying Marine recruits are routinely taught about executing and defending against chokeholds, which can render someone unconscious in as few as 8 seconds.
We have a civilian also who's really, in my view, this is somebody who's a trained killer. He is an ex-Marine. And he understood the art of hand-to-hand combat.
Friday, we learned there were 5 911 calls during the incident from 2:27 p.m. to 2:30.
My question is, what is this? What are they doing about this guy and his evaluation? Was there a problem?
No, Toothless, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, black people you want to send you don't want to do shit for your kids. You want to send them out the door as soon as they're old enough, for the love of God. Like, give birth and quick, send it out of the door. Please, hurry up. And you're expecting in 18 years that some brilliant human being is going to walk back through your door fully whole and just has it all. This is what you're expecting. So you're expecting them to educate your children, take care of them, and then when shit like this happens, you're expecting them to handle everything. You're just supposed to sit back on your ass and coast. Wow. Years ago, I showed you a video. There was an African brother, Muslim, with his wife in the airport. And I don't know what the airport was, where the airport was. And these two white devil-ass fucking police came over to fuck with him. And that was all fine until they laid hands on his wife. And he made fucking sausage meat of both of them by himself. Because safety be damned. What black males and black boys don't understand in this nation is that you have a sacrifice to make, or you will never be able to call yourself a man. You are nothing but a bitch. Manhood is earned moment by moment, daily, year by year, everything. You don't just anoint into it. You earn it. You have to earn it. And part of being a man is you got to be willing to stand in front of a fucking moving bus or a fucking bullet whenever it dictates. Not when it's convenient for you. You have to be willing to rise to the occasion. And at the core of that needs to be a sense of martyrdom. You got to be willing to sacrifice yourself. That means you got to go to jail. You got to die. You got to lose your job. You got to lose income. Whatever the fuck it is, you have to do that. If that sounds outrageous to you, you're the very bitch I'm talking about. It's you. It's you. You are it. If you just heard yourself described, that's you. That's you. That's you. Let's hear Toothless, the last of his statement.
What are they doing about this guy and his evaluation? Was there a problem? What triggered him to do what he did?
You want to rationalize and shit? There's nothing to rationalize. This motherfucker killed my son or my godson or whatever. I'm on my way to find him. That's it. Nothing else to discuss. I remind you, we're still living in the same nation where the bitch that finally the bitch just died. But we're living in the same nation where if you just looked at a white person, they didn't have to be related, and a crowd of them was coming to your crib to get you. Just because you looked at one of their bitch ass. This is still the same fucking people. Now you want to rationalize when they've murdered you in fucking broad daylight in front of witnesses and cameras and everything else? Wow. 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 Now let's hear from the best friend. Because I have some critiques about that. We want to be at what, 31? 31 works for me.
When I hear that he was yelling and ranting, the last time I checked, the penalty for ranting is not death.
He's talking about Jordan Neely. His death ruled a homicide. Video shows former Marine Daniel Penny placing the 30-year-old in a chokehold for several minutes Monday on an F train. Witnesses in the same car say right before, the victim was yelling, acting erratically, but had not become physically violent. Lance Clark tells me it's a side of Neely he never saw. He first met him about a decade ago performing.
By the way, there's a great look right there too as Michael. Really good look.
At a birthday party.
The kids loved him. You thought he was Michael Jackson.
Which is what Neely, who was homeless, did on the subway. Lance often ran into him, developed a friendship, but tells me over time he noticed a change. The MJ outfit.
Okay, not best friend. I think I said best friend, not best friend, but definitely a friend of his. That's how he's calling himself a friend. So friend, damn it.
Was gone and Neely was struggling.
I'd bring him to the building. I'd give him bags of clothes, whatever I can do to help. And I would tell him, look, just ring the bell. Whatever you need, just let me know.
The last.
Okay, how about you give him a place to stay? How about that? He can ring the bell. I'll give him like he's a fucking dog outside. You know, it doesn't go far enough. You have to be willing to fucking sacrifice yourself. And you don't get the credit without the work. I'm sure he would say he's doing something amazing and he helped. You ain't did shit in my view. Because did you offer him into your house to at least sleep on the floor, even if you don't got another bed? Like, sleep on the floor. I mean, what is your sense of sacrifice, my people? What is it? What is it? Or do you not even have it at all? Hear the rest of this.
Ring the bell. Whatever you need, just let me know.
The last time Lance saw Neely was about a year ago.
He just looked visibly in pain and hurting, where he couldn't perform. He said, listen, I'm hungry. Can someone please help me?
This is Neely just days before his death, which has sparked protests. Police arrested 13 people at this one Saturday night, a case that's expected to go to the grand jury next week. Neely, who had
this bitch is,
had a history of mental illness, had been arrested more than 40 times. Lance is an attorney, and while he's not working on this case,
he's an attorney. So that's at least 6 figures. Depending on how long he's been an attorney. It's New York. So there's some money there. So are you got, he can ring the bell and give him clothes and shit? No, nigga. That ain't enough. It's not enough. Damn it. It's not enough. You understand? Because you understand, here, in case you don't know, here's the standard, everybody. All your shit is paid. Anything you have left over, you owe it to those who don't have a fucking thing. Period. You owe it. Not says me, but says the divine. Allah says charity is the right of the poor upon the rich. And he's not talking about Oprah Winfrey rich. I got $20, you don't got shit. I'm rich. I'm the rich one right here. You understand? I owe you that. The divine has provided this so that there would be equity for everybody. Everybody would have something. You wouldn't have people with all this gross amount of fucking money and stocks and shit just piled up and shit while you got at least 100,000 people sleeping on the street just in Los Angeles alone. Way of life. This is what the divine has prescribed. So, and if you live in some fancy whatever the fuck and you don't really need that, you can downsize there. Now you have more money to give. You understand? I mean, that's the way it goes, everybody. That's the way it goes. If that sounds foreign to you, you're a fucking problem. You are. You are. You are.
Attorney, and while he's not working on this case, he does expect charges to be filed against Penny, who says he never intended to harm Neely.
He never intended. Yes, you did, bitch. Because the moment you engaged him, you assumed the risk. That would be the legal language. You assumed the risk. It's right. Just give you something more simple. I'm in a bus station, or I'm in a wherever. Let's say bus station. Lady walks by and says, "Excuse me, can you watch my purse? I just need to go over here to the counter and get my ticket." Okay, boom. You just assume fucking risk, and she's got a winnable lawsuit against you if anything happens to that purse. And oh, by the way, she can come back and imagine some shit. Nothing happened to the purse. She comes back and goes, "Oh my God, my $10,000 isn't in here. I can't go on," and collapses dramatically on the fucking floor right there. You're going to end up paying 10 grand. Watch, 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 watch. Assuming the risk.
We put the most on society's most vulnerable people. We don't invest in our citizens. This is what happens.
Kimberly Richardson, Channel 7, Eyewitness.
And then that we shit. We put a lot and we don't invest. No, nigga. Ain't no we on this shit. No. Their white ass. You understand? Because you don't run shit. You don't. But the shit you can run and control, you don't. And that's my gripe and bitch in this fucking piece. I just don't understand how black people just stand around and do absolutely nothing. But if this had been the Crips or the Bloods or any of these other fucking gang groups out there, and let's say that was a Crip choking out a Blood, every fucking Blood out there from all over the fucking country is going to convene on the spot. They don't even know the nigga. They coming in to take their damn revenge. To help take out your mama house, your kid's school, everything. Your girl, all of that. Gotta respect that. That's the shit I respect. That's what I respect. It's some bullshit, but I respect the principle of it and the loyalty. And the commitment and sacrifice. Gotta respect it. Gotta respect it. No choice. No choice. Now, I need to see what is the media saying completely. It's one thing to hear sound bites and things like that. What are they saying is what we want to know. Well, let's start with the biggest liars. We'll start with CNN. Did it take the command, or it thinks I'm giving something else? All right. We'll start with just the CNN, just because it's CNN. Am I in the way? Before fatal subway chokehold, Jordan Neely was on New York City's list of homeless individuals with dire needs. Now, I'm not understanding the disconnect, because they showed that one video of him from the side where they said this is what he looked like now. He wasn't in his Michael Jackson get up. How old was he? I need to know that. And you see it says, man dies after chokehold. No. Man murdered by white devil on New York City subway. That reads like the truth, doesn't it? Jordan Neely, the man who was murdered last week, they're still saying who died last week. Oh, he just died. We don't know how. Maybe he fell off a building. We don't know. It's such a mystery. No. Who was murdered by a white devil last week after being put in a chokehold on the subway, was on a list of homeless people identified as having dire needs, according to a source familiar with this case. Just a second. Isn't every homeless person in dire needs? Aren't you in dire needs by default that you're homeless? I don't understand how they're quantifying that. All right, let's increase this. We're only at 110? You guys can't read that. All right, this is better for all of us. Come on. All right. Neely, 30, a 30-year-old street artist, so he's 30. So that might have been this might be a recent picture, because I could see a brother at 30 looking like that. I'm almost 60, so it could happen. Nearly 30-year-old street artist known for his Michael Jackson impersonations was restrained and forced to the floor in a fatal chokehold by a white devil after he started shouting that he was hungry, thirsty, and had little to live for. So that tells me, in the mind of this white devil, he saw someone who he thought nobody would miss. He could use an excuse. Oh, he's just homeless, so, you know. Because I could have been on that bitch screaming the same shit and he wouldn't have came near me. I promise you that. So I think he saw him as prey. That's how I see it. His murder has been ruled a homicide by New York City's medical examiner, but the ruling does not determine whether there was intent or culpability, Just a second. See how they rush? The medical exam says it's homicide, but that doesn't mean anything, white people. It's okay. You can still kill the niggers. It's okay. That's how that reads to my black ears. Because why would you say that? After that, it was ruled homicide by the medical examiner, then you should just go to the next sentence. No, but the ruling does not determine whether there was intent or culpability, which is a matter for the criminal justice system to consider. Like, no, it's in the hands of the justice system. Nothing to judge here. Don't. You see? Fuck CNN and all the bitches that gave birth to them. Charges have not been filed in the case, and they stack it on. This whole paragraph is for white people. This whole paragraph. Damn, it's not coming up blue. Hopefully you could see the highlighting. This whole paragraph is for white people. I'll just read it again. His murder has been ruled a homicide by the medical examiner, but the ruling does not determine whether there was intent or culpability. Intent or culpability. That's two separate descriptions. Damn it. We're going to do this today. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. So whatever I got to do, that's what I'm about to do. Okay, we just had our first interruption, y'all. We're going to try and press on. Where was I now? Which is a matter for the criminal justice to consider. So there was an intent, and he's not responsible. That's what those two words mean. Did not determine whether there was intent or culpability, which is a matter for the criminal justice to consider. Other white people. Charges have not been filed in the case, which is under investigation by the Manhattan District Attorney, and that whole paragraph was for white people. That's who it was for. Before his death, Jordan, and I told you, they only use last name for inmates, everybody, so that it would be proper to use his first name to express empathy for the victim in an editorial way. I've taught you this over the years. So you see this before his death, Neely, not Jordan, Neely. Fuck that. That's why I always substitute and put their name. Before his death, Jordan had been on New York Department of Homeless Services list of the city's homeless with acute needs, sometimes referred to internally as the top 50 list, because individuals on the list tend to disappear, a source told CNN. They're trying to suggest something dark and, throw a red herring, a little smoke at it. What does that mean? Is he just at the top of the list? Growing up, my sister and them used to be on Section 8. Where you at on the list type thing. That didn't mean the bitches were homicidal or suicidal or anything. You feel me? So what does that mean? What does that mean? And why are they making this distinction? That's another issue, and it's another video. But they bring it, so I want to know about that. The list is generally not made public, but is compiled in hopes that outreach organizations will be on the lookout for those individuals and alert the city's homeless services department to intervene. For what? Because you're not giving us any reason. They've not said these are people at risk, they're in danger, they're suicidal. All they've given us is they've said that it's compiled for individuals with acute needs. What does that mean? Because individuals on the list tend to disappear. What does that mean? What does that mean? I suggest to you it's just smoke to try and throw this haze on this brother. Just throw haze at it. Just throw a bunch of shit at the wall and see what sticks. The agency places additional focus on trying to find those on the list and give them the help they need, the source explained. Why did you share that? What? Is somebody else hearing something else other than what I'm reading? If so, do share that, because why did we need to know that? What was that? Why? What was the reason for that? CNN has reached out to the DHS for comment. I'm over it. Those who knew Jordan say he was a talented dancer who eked out a living as a Michael Jackson impersonator in Times Square and on New York's subways. But he fell on hard times in recent years, according to a friend and a relative, finding himself living on the streets and struggling with his mental health after the trauma of losing his mother as a teenager. Just a second, he's 30 years old. You're still dealing with the trauma of losing your mother at 30? I doubt it. Because nobody's more traumatized than I was on November 10th, 1994, the day we buried my grandmother. You understand? And I mention her, quote her every single day damn near. But I'm still a whole sane human being, so that doesn't fly. let us also be aware, everybody, that when we hear this pushing of mental illness, there's been a push on that in the last several years. We see a focus on that more than any other time. Mental illness is real, and mental illness. Here we go. Okay, we're going to try. You cannot medicate the soul, everybody. They cannot diagnose, and they cannot medicate or treat the soul. Do you understand? And that is for a people who are not connected to God. We are people who have always been connected to the divine. We're the first people. So of course we would recognize and understand and have a relationship with the one that created us innately. Don't ever give in to any type of medication for any type of fucking depression and I can't go on and fuck all that. Go and get your damn life. You understand? Take a purge. Do whatever you got to do. But you cannot medicate the soul. You can't diagnose it. And you cannot medicate it. And least of all, white people cannot diagnose anything emotional about us at all. They don't have it. They're not able to do that. So that's right out the gate is a problem. And we are not like them in any way. Certainly psychologically and mentally, we're not like them. So don't do it. So we're not buying the mental health after the trauma of losing his mother as a teenager. Nah, he's over it. All right. Prior to his killing, and none of that matters at the moment he's standing on this fucking train. Because we've seen him standing on the train doing Michael Jackson, and he seems to be just fine. No trauma, nothing going on about the death of his mother when he was a teenager. You see what I'm saying? So don't try and bring that in as, ooh, because they want the mental picture to be that somebody that was just showed up in a wild state of mind and he was just out of control and he was just in a mental issue and he just couldn't go on and oh my God, nah, don't buy that. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. Prior to his murder, Jordan had a lengthy arrest record. Here goes the white devil. See, white devil's murdering, white devil's writing. You see, same white devil. White devil's murdering, white devil's not arresting murderer, white devil's writing and reporting. Prior to his murder, Jordan had a lengthy arrest record with New York police, which is immediately void because police have no legitimacy or any just legitimacy at all. So that means nothing. A law enforcement source told CNN. You see, you make this nefarious, you put this nefarious information out there about this dead man, and then you say a source, bitch. Who, bitch? You see? Because he's dead. So why would you want to reveal yourself? Because a source is just it's right up there with, a lot of people are saying, you can just pull that right out of your ass any day of the week you want to. Nobody has said a fucking thing. But you can just say, a lot of people are saying, and a lot of people are saying, if you're somebody in sales, you could use that shit. You're just trying to sell a damn phone. Oh my God, everybody is buying this phone. Oh, everybody. Because the American public goes for that. Everybody's buying it? Well, then I should. You see, and they do. Trump. Somebody said I was the greatest. It was the biggest inauguration ever. They never saw anything like it, and they never saw it. Nobody said it. Nobody said that. But that's his stock and trade. Somebody said. And somebody said, this is that. Sources told CNN. No, CNN is just putting the shit and claiming it was a source. Told CNN's John Miller, a Zionist, including 42 arrests. Why is this relevant? He didn't do anything to anybody. He was murdered. Why do you have to tell him about his fucking record? Because it's white devils, you see? We should know how many hairs this white asshole has on his asshole. Instead, we're reading about Jordan's resume. His entire dossier is here. Well, 42 arrests on charges including petty larceny, jumping subway turnstiles, hadn't heard of crime here yet, theft of nothing, 3 unprovoked assaults, not unprovoked, on women in the subway between 2019 and 2021. No, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. You see, but this is also why I keep an ongoing charge, indictment, and ready to fucking strike on fucking white people, because they always telling you should get over it. It was the past. I had nothing to do. Well, bitch, you weren't there for any of this shit. His 42 arrests. Why are you printing it? Because if it even happened, if any of this is even real, I suggest it's not. Because the media always works in concert with the fucking police. You see, so they'll tell a lie and the police will back it up, and the police will lie and they'll back it up. White devils colluding, you see, white devils murdering, white devils writing, white devils colluding. Just white devil across the board. Unprovoked assaults on women. A witness told lying ass CNN, although Jordan was acting erratically, because that's the word white people use, it was erratic. You see, because they don't know us at fucking all. All I see is nothing but erratic from their white ass. But they're going to try and diagnose your behavior. They can't. So we don't accept that. A witness. Who's the witness? Because you already said a source earlier for the nefarious shit about his record. Now, a witness said he was acting erratically on the subway. He did not harm anyone, nor did they see him armed with a weapon. But it was just erratic, and so that just made white people uncomfortable. That's how it should really read. You see? Passengers are not supposed to die on the floor of our subways, Jordan family attorney Lyndon Edwards said. His death comes at a moment when New York City continues to grapple with the fundamental issues of a growing population of unhoused people and a mental health crisis. Fuck the mental health bullshit. Because you get rid of white people, all of our stress goes away as African people. That's 100% true. You feel what I'm telling you? Despite government efforts to alleviate the challenges, the passengers who held Jordan down, passenger singular, who held Jordan down, Daniel Penny, the white devil, is a 24-year-old U.S. Marine veteran, because that's the only thing we're going to learn about him. That's it. You see? But they're telling us the color of Jordan's underwear. We know where he went to school. We've heard about his mother. And we know what diaper he wore when he was 3. We saw it. But U.S. Marine veteran and his attorney have called the incident a, quote, an awful tragedy. No, bitch. It's a murder. It's not an awful tragedy. It's a murder. Language matters. You see? And his attorney. So he joins the language. Not his attorney has said. The asshole and his attorney have called the incident an awful tragedy. See, they can say, well, it was just a terrible thing that happened, and they just go to fucking lunch. It should be carloads and carloads of niggas circling the fucking whatever area they live in, trying to find this motherfucker. That's the way it should go, everybody. Anything less, you're just twiddling your thumbs. That's it. Everybody knows it. The white murderer, the white devil murderer's attorney has said Jordan had been, quote, aggressively threatening, end quote, passengers. Why didn't you put that in the quotation? You see? The asshole's attorney said Jordan had been, quote, aggressively threatening, end quote. That means everything outside of this is now conjecture and bullshit. Passengers, and that the murderer and others had, now we're back into quotations, quote, acted to protect themselves, end quote. So you're a Marine, you're 3 years old, and a train is a very long and tubular thing, especially in New York City. You couldn't just walk your bitch ass to another train, like another car or some bullshit. You feel me? You had to protect yourself. Because if I'm the attorney for the family, the first thing I do is I seize up all these motherfuckers that was on the fucking train, because there's cameras everywhere in New York City, especially after 9/11. And I say, bring in the first person. Did you feel that you need to be protected? No? Okay, take your shit. Next person. Did you feel like you need to take your shit? You see what I'm saying? Nobody felt like they needed to protect themselves. It's exactly what I've said to you. I suggested to you that it is, everybody. He saw this as prey. Nobody will care. It's okay. Same way as the fucker who murdered George Floyd. You saw George Floyd presents himself. We know him, but white people don't. So they see that and they just think that ain't nobody gonna really miss him. He don't really have the vocabulary or the intellect to defend himself in any way, and we can just fucking just do away with him and it's all fine. This is that same mindset. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. They acted to protect themselves. Interesting, they put the passengers and the asshole in the quotation. All we have in quotations is aggressively threatening. That's the end of it. Then the next one is acted to protect themselves. That's it. The lying white devil murderer never intended to harm now he's Mr. Neely. You see? A writer and editor and publisher, everybody. This proves what I've said up till now, what I said earlier in the piece, when I was reminding you of something I've taught you over the years about this use of the last name. So this confirms that that was on purpose. Because now, as they're attempting to make some weak, non-believable statement of sympathy, like they're just so broken up about it, then they use Mr. Neely. You see, the prosecution rests. Quote, and beginning quotations, the murderer never intended to harm Mr. Neely and could not have foreseen his untimely death, even though he was sitting there chewing gum and choking with all his Marine might at 24 years old. Couldn't have foreseen that would have resulted in death. Just nobody could have known. No one could have known. It's the same as if, it's like last week when I threw that shrapnel-filled grenade into an office and, the whole thing collapsed. I couldn't have imagined it would have ended in anybody's death. I couldn't have known it. That's what he's saying, dude. I'm being ridiculous so you could see that's ridiculous. That's end quote now. Could not have foreseen his untimely death. Yeah, I went up and I stabbed him with the machete right through his chest, but I could not have foreseen his untimely death. Just couldn't have seen it. Now, white devils convening for grand juries and not indicting. That will be the next chapter of this. I'll come back and tell you I told you so. The law firm of Razor and Kenneth, Zionists, said in a statement Friday, quote, "We hope that out of this awful tragedy," it's not a tragedy, out of this deliberate murder, they make it sound like it was a boating accident or some shit. We couldn't have known. No, we hope that out of this deliberate murder will come a new commitment by our elected officials to address the mental health crisis of our streets and subways. No, fuck that. Now they're going to say because he was mentally ill, he was murdered. Because if it was the white devil, they would say, well, he's mentally ill and that's why he did it. But they got to push this Marine bullshit. You see what I'm saying? So don't get distracted. This is not a mental health issue, everybody. This is a murder. Because it doesn't matter if he had killed his mother, if he had shit in his underwear, if he had robbed an old lady. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what Jordan did at fucking all. The spotlight is only on this white devil murderer. That's it, where it belongs. We hope that out of this tragedy, this murder, this deliberate murder, will come a new commitment by our elected officials. Don't have shit to do with it, bitch. Only thing we hope that comes from the elected officials is that they immediately arrest motherfuckers and not give us time to get there to kill their bitch ass off, because that's where we need to get to. You understand? It should be a race between us and the fucking law enforcement. They're not really getting there to necessarily arrest the person. They're just trying to get them to safety before we can get there to kill their bitch ass off. It should be known, black people are over this shit. I don't care if you're in uniform or you're a citizen, you're a man or a female, it doesn't matter. Black people are coming for your fucking life. That's it. Every penalty they dish out is death. Don't approach them and don't provoke. As days pass, Jordan's death, since Jordan's death, now we're back to just Neely. See? Not Mr. Neely anymore. Just gave him that for about 5 seconds to get their little fake apology or fake sentimental moment out, and we're back to Neely, not Jordan. All right. As days pass since Jordan's death, protesters continue to call for charges in the case. On Friday, demonstrators gathered outside Bragg's office, chanting, "Indict Daniel Penny," end quote, and quote, "Why is the killer free," end quote. Some held signs that read, "Jordan Neely deserves better," from New York. Listen, no more signs, no more marching. This is a lot of energy and shit. You got to go have signs printed up, or you got to write the shit out with a marker. What the fuck you got to do? You got to travel, you get parking, and fuck all that. Find where this motherfucker live at and do the deed. That's all you got to do. Listen, until we do that shit, nothing else changes, everybody. Nothing, everybody knows it. So don't listen to any self-righteous voices that aren't victims of the shit. They don't get to say a fucking thing, and we don't hear them. This is the fucking answer, period, the end. What did Bush say when he stood on that pile after they deliberately blew up the Twin Towers on 9/11? But we'll go with the lie for a second. When he stood there with the bullhorn, "I hear all of you, and the people who knock down these towers will hear from all of us soon." He wasn't talking about no justice, no peace, and marching with a fucking sign. They were gathering the fucking military to go there and strike on your shit. That's the answer. Damn, you don't get it? And don't give me this vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Fuck that. The Lord never said that. The Lord said don't start no shit or you get your teeth cracked. And he gave those who you strike on permission to strike on your shit. It's an eye for an eye. Violence is not the violence is exactly the way. Damn. It's like I'm standing here holding the combination to the fucking lottery. And I go, "No, that's not the number yet." And you've got the number. I go, "No." Or no, worse. This will make it clearer. I say, "Well, putting in the exact numbers is not going to win the lottery. I mean, you need to pick something else other than the exact winning numbers." How much sense does that make? No. Don't put in the winning numbers. Put in something else. And just keep doing that till fucking eternity. And then wonder why you never won the lottery. You're going to deliberately not put in the winning numbers. That's what I'm telling you is happening here. The very thing that is our saving grace and our liberation from all this bullshit is the very thing they've got you brainwashed to think that that's the exact wrong thing to do. Wow. You got to find your violent bone, black people, and exercise that bitch for filth. We have people being killed for ringing the wrong doorbell, pulling in wrong driveway, and screaming out in desperation on the subway, said Dante Mills, another Jordan family attorney. We cannot let that stand. No, fuck you, attorney whoever, because you've let all the other shit that you just named stand. That's why Jordan is dead. That's one of the points I'm making. How many times have I said to you, every time there's been a big case, I've bitched at you. I said, because we now have blood on our hands for the next one. And I'm repeating that again. Your blood is on your hands now for the next one. Because for everyone we don't go and fucking destroy the fuck out of whoever the fucking entity is that did the shit, you just left the door open for the next one. Jordan will not be the last one. And then this one kills me. Because you can always tell that that black person who kind of encapsulates the apathy of the majority of African people. When it happens, something happens, we just never thought it would happen to us. Because in your dumbass black mind, you're not willing to do shit because you fucking scared to death as Negro. And then you think it's not going to happen to you. You see, it's just like people walking around, especially these Christian types that think that, I think that some people really think they're not going to die, even though it is not disputed by any of humanity that life ends in death. There are fucked up people walking around that think they're not going to die. I believe that. I believe that. They somehow, it's not going to be me. It won't be me. Jumaane Williams, New York City public advocate, has demanded charges be filed. Ooh, he's demanded charges be filed immediately. Well, that'll show him, Jumaane. Thank God you're there. The public advocate office helps with complaints involving government-related services and regulations. Well, then that's out of their purview because this is a civilian. He's not even in the fucking military. They went on to they gave us the description. They could have just ended it. They said Jumaane Williams is the New York City's public advocate, has demanded charges be filed immediately. Quote, the public advocate, immediately, quote, end quote. The public advocate office, now they're just giving us this. The public advocate office helps with complaints involving government-related services and regulations. I'll have to buy a vowel because why is that relevant? It's not. To say, and maybe they just printed it because they put it, they said he's demanding charges be filed, and then in quotations they said immediately. Period. So they probably just added that last sentence as shade, as if to say he don't got no power. That's what that sentence after the period is about. That nigger's just blowing off hot air. That Jumaane person. It means nothing. Quote, to say anything else is an equivocation that will only further a narrative that devalues the life of a black, homeless man with mental health challenges and encourages an attitude of dehumanization of New Yorkers in greatest need. He said, fuck you, man. Fuck New Yorkers. We're only concerned about black people. Give a fuck. That's all we give a fuck about. But we're also disturbed by this mental health challenges piece, everybody, because has he been diagnosed? Do we have, because they gave us his entire dossier of his fucking criminal record, but there was nothing that suggests in this information thus far that there's been a official diagnosis of mental health. And somebody screaming on a subway that they're hungry is not mental health. That's somebody that's hungry. They're articulating what their issue is. You see, they're trying to make this a mental health issue so that you get to say there was this crazy guy that this white devil encountered, and oh my God, for the love of his life, he had to put him in that chokehold and hold him when nobody else felt they needed to. Read between the lines, everybody. One more. First, let me come to you. I don't even know who's here. Let me come to you, and then we'll pull another article, and then I have a video that I want to show you from yesterday because I don't want to end furious. Let's see who's here. I might be able to see this. Andrea Smith, big shout out to you. Shoni, a big shout out to you. Black Beauty Always, a big shout out to you, Queen. Simply Sandra, I simply love you. You say, Good evening, Jedi. Glad to see you back on hubby. And hubby and I are out taking power walk and peace to the chat. You go, son. Wow. Anjane 23. I love you. Yes, do remember the thumbs up, everybody. Thank you. King's back. Good evening to you. A big shout out to you, brother. CJ Stevenson. A big shout out to you. Sandra, you say Jedi back from my power walk and never missed a word you spoke about this damn demon who murdered this young brother. So glad you are speaking on this. Yeah, but I wish I was out doing something about it. You understand? Son, not toothless. Oh yeah, I did say that. Anjane, he drop kicked the entire TSA staff. Who? He drop kicked the entire TSA staff. Who did, Anjane? Where? What TSA staff? Talk to me. Shout out to She Said. Someone say the three killers looked to be together. Well, there was only one person with around his neck, and that was that white devil. You say just like a professional boxer. You say you can build a case on the medical examiner alone. Righteous indignation, a big shout out to you. My point is that this guy knew exactly what he was doing. We are trained to kill regardless. And they teach you that everything is a weapon, even your entire body. Boom, that's it. You feel me? No doubt, he knew. He knew. He knew. She said, you say CNN, the lawyer for the defense. I'm not understanding. I don't know. I don't know what you. I'm not understanding. Anjane, Jordan is the victim. They're trying everything they can to make him seem like he was at fault. These white publications are sick. Righteous indignation, you say the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent taketh by force. Until then, we ain't ready, we ain't tired yet. And the violent taketh by force. I don't know if I really understand. I mean, I understand. I don't know. I don't understand. Help me out. I'm righteous. Anjane, just use logical thinking. What gets results and what doesn't? It's that simple. We should do what gets results. Exactly. And black people just don't seem to. They're happier bitching about it. You know what I'm saying? Than doing anything. Especially niggas. And even if we didn't know how to get results, we definitely know that our recent actions have not worked and that we should be taking different actions at this point. You go on. The Muslim man who was with his wife drop kicked the entire TSA staff. He turned into a Mortal Kombat character. He totally did, man. I mean, he went bonkers on they white ass, and it was a glorious sight, and I was so happy to bring it to you guys because that's exactly it. And I've been consistent to say, even if black men are going to be bitches for themselves, the line should absolutely be true. Even if you want to defend your own bitch ass and all the other shit, the moment one of our women or our children is being dealt with, that's it. All fucking rules go out the window. Nothing, we don't stop at anything less than death. That should be known. That should be known. You touch they women and their children in any way or inconvenience them in any way, you're going to have hell to pay. You need to get out of the fucking country immediately. The Jughead, it's been a while. Shout out to you from the UK. Yes. I want to pull another article, you guys. One more. Just to contrast, I started with CNN just because they're the biggest liars, and you need something mainstream to know what the official white vomit voice is. Here's one that's interesting. Jordan Neely's family lashes out at the demon. Let's see, what else? Jordan Neely was already dead. I have to click on that. It's provocative. All right, we may come back to the thing about the family, but this one is, its title is Jordan Neely was already dead. Maybe they mean that. We're going to find out. Let's bring you in. Jordan Neely was already dead. New York reckons with a homeless epidemic and a killing. Wow, that's a great painting. Wow. That's a great painting. The idea of it, you know. For some New Yorkers, Jordan Neely was dead even before Marine murdering white devil allegedly choked the life out of him. No, ain't alleged, bitch. Who's fucking writing this? Errol Lewis from this is the Intelligencer. How long is this? Because this looks like it's gonna piss me off. I have to kill everybody. Yeah, this is really lengthy. All right, we'll just get into it a little bit just to see what its breadth is, and we're gonna move on because this is War and Peace, and I don't want to get bogged down. Allegedly choked the life out of him on the floor of a subway train. Modern America, including New York, designates some categories of people as socially dead. Okay, part of an underclass that is subject to exclusion, indifference, or even outright hatred and violence. But to black, destitute, homeless, and mentally ill in our city is to be one of those outsiders, existing in a kind of external exile from society's circle of care and concern. Okay, they're going in that direction. You know, he was already dead. Like, it's going to be about that. Yeah, we don't need to get into that. It's too cerebral. I'm over it. Let's go back to the one with the family thing, and we'll let that be the closeout of this. Jordan's family lashes out at the murdering white devil who put him in a deadly chokehold on a subway, who murdered him. I guess this is more footage of the protest. We don't really need it. But just so you can see some of the faces that are there. You see, look at all those fucking white people. He's chewing gum. You see he's chewing gum. Oh, wait.
Penny and other passengers. Daniel, with the help of others, acted to protect themselves until help
Wait.
arrived. Student and Marine veteran.
Wait. This is part of his
Identified as
dossier now.
24-year-old Daniel Penny, a college student and Marine veteran. In a statement, his lawyer writing, when Mr. Neely began aggressively
A college student and Marine veteran.
threatening Daniel Penny and other passengers.
Wait. Now, they want us to believe he was being threatened. You see? Again, we need to be the violent fucking people they say we are. You see? Make that a fucking reality. Because we're not. You see? But we're going to get the charge anyway, so we might as well make it true. Wait now.
Threatening Daniel Penny and other passengers. Daniel, with the help of others, acting when Mr. Neely began aggressively threatening Daniel Penny and
aggressively threatening, when we had a quote from him and his attorney in the previous article that did not say that at all. And you would think if the attorney is quoting, because he's laying out his case in the public right now, my client was being threatened by Mr. Neely. Absolutely, he feared for his life. He couldn't go on. That wasn't in there. From a statement from the attorney, not hearsay, not a source, a direct quote from the attorney by CNN. Now, over here, wait, go back. I can't see the line. Now, hear this.
Neely began aggressively threatening Daniel Penny and other passengers.
Threatening.
Mr. Neely began aggressively threatening Daniel Penny and other passengers.
Really? And this is from the attorney, Razor and Kniff, the Zionists. They've changed. They're already lying. Well, if they're breathing, they're lying. But you see, now suddenly over here, when they spoke to CNN, no mention of him threatening his client. Now, I just can't see the thing to take it back.
And Marine veteran. In a statement, his lawyer writing, when Mr. Neely began aggressively threatening Daniel Penny and other passengers, Daniel, with the help of others, acted to protect themselves until help arrived. Adding, Daniel never intended to harm Mr.
Protected themselves until help arrived. This is a moving train. When the fuck is help supposed to arrive, bitch? I ask you this now. It's not like, oh, we were in a Starbucks and we were waiting for help to arrive. It's a moving train, and you could take your bitch ass to another car. You see? I mean, it's also the cheapness of the lies they're telling, because they don't need to tell sophisticated lies, because they know they can just vomit out anything, because it doesn't matter. Because this isn't a serious thing for them. They don't really care. You understand? It's just like, how do we shut these damn niggers up so we can get to the next murder? That's what it's really about for white people. They don't give a fuck, man. And all these fucking white people out there on the tracks and all this bullshit, don't be fooled by the optics, everybody. Those are still the same hateful fucking white people as this motherfucker that murdered this dude. No difference. You need to be very clear about that. If you can't make that association, you have work to do. And that should also tell you how fucked up and out of the loop you are. You should understand that. You should understand that. You should understand that. Wait, finish hearing the statement.
Neely. While Penny was questioned by police, he has not been charged with a crime.
See? Not been charged with a crime. Why? He's not a police officer, which that shouldn't matter anyways either. But he has nothing going on. So I'll just go out here tomorrow and murder the bitch at Family Dollar, who can't stand anyways. Murder the bitch off, stand there, and I'm sure I won't be arrested. Because nothing to see here. Dead body, me, questioned, and I come right home. It's nothing. So why was he questioned and not nothing? Why? Did they see the fucking dude laying there dead? And everybody's saying this motherfucker that did it? At the very least, you go into the station and make a statement. Even if this had been justified. Let's say, oh my God, he came at you with a machete and you, oh my God. You know, even you still go into the fucking police station to make a statement. A report has to be written and, you know. So just nothing. He was questioned and let go. Just because he said it. It's all the more reason why I'm telling you we don't have any refuge. You see, when I was little, even if anybody fuck with me, I'm going to tell Graham. If it was one of my siblings, I don't go tell my grandma. She gonna get them. I'm going to tell Dad. Somebody gonna, like, kids are gonna roll. There's a hierarchy I can go to, and they gonna get your shit. You see. So we don't have that, everybody. There's nobody we can run to and go, get them. They did such and such to me. That's what I'm telling you. We have to be our own vigilantes. White people are imagining some fucking bullshit, and they're stacking up guns and shit. We have a real fucking battle going on currently right now as I sit here. You should be armed to the teeth. You understand? And you should be ready to take action. There's nobody you're going to run to for help. Except for your own, it should be. Wow. They lead with this shit every time they say his name. A Marine veteran expressed no remorse and felt, quote, end quote, entitled to murder Jordan Neely on a New York subway train, the homeless man's family said Monday. That's a statement from the family. Lawyers for the murdering white devil had defended their client Friday, saying Jordan had been, quote, aggressively threatening, end quote. Their client and again, there's that same thing. They only put in quotations, aggressively threatening, and then they end the quote. That's it. So everything outside of that is bullshit. If it was really threatening your client and your client told you they were threatening them, then the whole thing should be in quotation. Aggressively threatening their client and other riders aboard this bitch ass train, end quote. But it's not that. Saying that Jordan had been aggressively threatening, end quote. Then bullshit. Their client and other riders aboard the F train in Manhattan last week. Then let's talk to the other riders and find out why none of them felt they should choke Jordan. And let's find out what their evasive action was. Huh? Did you have to stand there? Were you locked in place? You couldn't walk your fucking white ass away? I'm telling y'all, dude, I'm in the wrong place on the earth. I'm waiting for my moment. Waiting, fucking waiting. Representatives for Jordan's family responded Monday, saying the murdering white devil had no regard for Jordan's life. The murdering asshole press release is not an apology nor an expression of regret, end quote, said a statement from attorneys representing Jordan's family. It's a character assassination and a clear example of why he believed he was entitled to take Jordan's life, said the attorneys, Dante Mills and Lennon Edwards. Wow. He reminds me a little bit of my nephew there. Just a little bit. But is that the 30-year-old picture of him? Because on the train he has facial hair. On that last side profile where he's standing up. The murderer's attorneys could not immediately be reached for comment on Monday. Who's surprised by that? They said Friday that Jordan had long suffered from mental illness and had a documented history of violent and erratic behavior. But Jordan's family said Monday that the murdering white devil could not have known of Jordan's past struggles before he applied a chokehold. That's what I said. Like, I don't give a fuck if he had just murdered an old lady and fucking had shit in his drawers. It doesn't even matter. You didn't know that shit at all. And I suggest you none of that was in play at all. You understand? But even if it was, you didn't know that. You didn't. You saw someone who had articulated something that let you know he was homeless, and you just thought, it's on. It's all good. I'm going to be a hero fucking white devil. You see? Not only should we have motherfuckers out here to take out him and his entire family and the houses they live in, but we should make sure that we have motherfuckers on the inside of any fucking institution he would be incarcerated at to finish the deed. That's the way this shit should go. Because Sadly, we're never going to see the shoe on the other foot, so you can see how fucking white people react if we did the shit to them that they do to us every fucking day. So we have to make that reality now. By the time police reached the train, Jordan was unconscious and he died at the scene. See? At the scene. This is the family speaking. Quote, the truth is he knew nothing about Jordan's history when he intentionally wrapped his arm around Jordan's neck and squeezed and kept squeezing. The attorneys, Mills and Edwards said. Is that the attorneys? I'm just going to say that's the attorneys because I don't feel like going back. All right. Quote, he never attempted to help him at all. In short, his actions on the train and now his words show why he needs to be in prison, they said. The asshole white devil murderer who was questioned by police and released has not been charged. Why? It's rhetorical because he's white. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office wrote, and we'd have to dig deeper because he may know somebody and he could be a fucking Zionist, fake ass Jew or some bullshit. I mean, come on. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office wrote, won't, everybody. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office won't decide whether to present a case to the grand jury until later this week. Two sources familiar with the matter said. Won't. Not they can't, or they're just not able to right now, and they're so back down. No, they just won't. Well, we won't do it till next week. We just won't. That's another building that you've taken out. You see? The investigation continues, and a spokesperson for the DA declined to comment. Lawyers for Jordan's family could not immediately be reached late Monday afternoon to comment on any possible prosecution. Late Monday, you see, they were available, but when you saying late Monday afternoon, how late, bitch? Jordan was on a list known to outreach workers as the top 50. See, they're trying to. Here's that smoke I talked about earlier. This is the smoke, everybody. This one's low on battery. Damn it, bitch. Die off. Wait, is this the one? No, damn it. Okay. We're almost done. Could I reach Monday afternoon to comment on any possible prosecution? Jordan was on the list. Okay, on the list, known to outreach workers as the top 50. A register of New York City's most at-risk homeless people. What does that mean? Because of the frequency of incidents of interactions with them. Period. What does that mean? It's smoke. That I'm clear about. I want to be clear. It's smoke. I'm clear about that. I'm just trying to say, like, what does this organization do? This known to outreach workers as top 50, a register of New York City's most at-risk homeless people. What does that mean? And I would believe there's only 50 people on it. Why is it called top 50? Seems a very small number given the number of people that are homeless in New York. Well, let's just see what the homeless population is in New York City. Well, let's just find out. What is the homeless population of New York City?
there were 67,880 homeless children and adults living in shelters managed by the city's Department of Homeless Services and thousands more living in shelters managed by other city agencies.
Here very carefully. 67,800 plus of homeless children, and thousands more living in shelters managed by other city agencies. You see? So we're to believe that Jordan was some extraordinary standout? Come on, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. He had been taken to the hospital multiple times. So what? He's living on the streets. He's probably, sometimes willingly and sometimes involuntarily, sources have confirmed. That means nothing. That's, again, they're trying to establish this aura around it all. You see? Well, he was taken to the hospital multiple times. Well, you live on the street. You catch a fucking cold every other day, for God's sake. Who knows? You see? It's unclear whether the city lost track of Jordan or whether any more could have been done to better monitor him. Wait, you said it's unclear if the city lost track of him, but you just said he was on a list known to outreach workers as a top 50 because they're most risk because of the frequency of incidents and interactions with them. Now, it's unclear whether the city's lost track of Jordan because they're trying to leave themselves some wiggle room. Well, how come y'all motherfuckers didn't have him in your custody, or why didn't you, whatever. If they're going to follow this mental illness lie trail that they're trying to establish for us. You see? It's multi-layered, everybody. White devils murdering, white devils writing, white devils colluding. Of whether any more could have been done to better monitor him. New York Governor Kathy invoked Jordan's name Monday as she pledged to spend $1 billion to upgrade the state's mental health programs. You see? Nah, bitch. That's $1 billion going to go to the pharmaceutical company. That's why they're pushing this mental health bullshit. Because what's she going to spend $1 billion on? Huh? $1 billion to upgrade the state's mental health programs. What does that mean? So we know a lot of that's going to be medicine, you see. Then we want to look at Kathy's fucking dossier and see who her big campaign donors were, everybody. Huh? Sure, we're going to find some major pharmaceuticals. Well, let's just do a cold search. Because why not? Let's just get her in here. We'll just get her in here. Governor Kathy Hochul's biggest donors. Top donors to New York governor. All I need is one. Okay, wait, here we go. Donations over time. No. Okay, but that doesn't tell me who. I need names, bitch. Wait. Okay, instead of trying to go through lists of names in the interest of time, why don't I just put in a different search and say, does Kathy Hochul have pharmaceutical donors? Let me just scan down to see. Statewide. Hochul. Contribution margins by zip code. That doesn't tell me. Out-of-state contributors, small contributors. I'm hearing something. Okay. I'm going to come back to this. I want to get through the article, or maybe somebody else could do a search while I go on. Wait, here's some names. Candidate. Okay, but it's not really giving me the names of donors. Well, let's do one other. A donor name, haha. Conquering Cancer Pack. I don't know what the ADF is. It's one of our donors, bitch. American Federation of Teachers, Governors Association, Fidelis Care. What is Fidelis Care? Anyways, we want to come back to this because this is how you vet things, everybody. I'm also trying to show you how you can go deeper into information, go deeper into a story that's being presented. So in this case, I'm trying to show by example as we go past the governor bitch, because now here she comes. Well, we're gonna pledge $1 billion. Bitch just said 100,000. Maybe I wouldn't be. It'd still be the same thing. But $1 billion on just this case. Oh, she's doubling down on her commitment to mental health. You know, and one has to ask why. So I suggest that we're going to look at her donors and we're going to find that she's got a lot of pharmaceutical donors going on, and I expect to specifically find pharmaceutical companies that deal in psychotropic medications. You know, whatever the shit that Prozac, isn't that what people take? Something ends in an ack. But we'll finish the article. People fall through the cracks. Sometimes they're visible, sometimes you see them. The horse said in Buffalo. And we think about the young man, Jordan Neely, who was in New York City in the throes of a crisis, who was tragically killed on a subway this week. That sounds like a train ran over him. Fuck that, bitch. No, who was murdered by a white devil on a subway this week. Why can't she just say that? His murder is clear evidence that we need support. No, bitch. He didn't cause his own death, bitch. He could have been crazy if you want that even. That's not why he's dead, Kathy. He's dead because he was murdered. It's the same as if he was run over by a car. Would you be saying the same shit? Well, he just fell through the cracks. No, bitch, he was hit by a car. We need alternatives for these individuals so they're not regulated to that. Regulated? I think they meant relegated. A writer and an editor and a publisher, and they fucking missed that. They're not even proofreading. So they're not relegated is the word they're looking for, everybody, to that kind of life. Not regulated. I'm over it. So those of us in government, so those of us in government, it's a wake-up call. This bitch don't give a fuck. And he was black, so she double don't give a fuck. And this is not a mental health issue. This is a murder. It's a murder. It's a murder. It's nothing more. It's nothing less. It is a murder. I don't give a fuck if Jordan had hives or his fucking penis was about to fall off or he had a bald spot in the back of his head. None of that matters. This was a murder. And we don't want to hear anything about mental health or anything else. We don't want to allow it. Like, we don't want to hear shit else. This is murder. That's the only thing you need to say to us. That's it. That's it. That's it. Nothing else to say. Nothing else to see. All right, let me see your comments, and we're going to go to this video, you guys. I'm not going to hold you too long. Oh, shit. I'm plugged in, so I can't. All right. Um, where'd I leave off? Oh, at Jughead. Another shout out to you, Jughead. Righteous, you say that's biblical prophecy. I know, but I didn't understand I don't understand it when I read it. The biblical prophecy, that's biblical prophecy that it will take violence to bring the kingdom of heaven away from the devil there in the power seat. Okay, yeah, I understand. I understand that. And yes, and that's the other point, because black people need to understand you are dealing with evil. And so for all y'all filled, baptized, sanctified, and anointed and called as Christians out there and the won't he do it crew, why don't y'all understand that you're supposed to do everything? You understand? You're the main ones. And what makes me sick, and I've said this a million times over the years, the lions, like myself, we're outnumbered by the Christian class. Those are the weak bitch ass men I'm talking about. Those are the ones. Those are the ones. Cheryl, Bryant, good evening to you, Queen. Righteous, you say the final battle of Armageddon is about war, of course. Yes, indeed. You say, Cheryl, late to the live stream. My work shift just ended 46 minutes ago. Okay. Well, I'm glad you off. Righteous, you say, or even a holy jihad. Yes. Because all struggle is jihad, but certainly in the context of what we're talking about, you know, our righteous fury and anger, and should we choose it, subsequent violence, is justified, everybody. Don't let this white devil tell you shit else. And they would only disagree with that because they are the beneficiaries of our fucking wrath. That's what's real. That's what's real. Cheryl, you say white supremacists in the lamestream media trying to humanize the white devil. Yeah. He's what they say, a college, what it just, when we saw, whatever the fuck it was. Nobody cares. Anyways, he's nothing but a sniveling, stinking white devil murderer. That's what he is. And all this Marine veteran and shit, fuck all that. I don't give a fuck. You murdered our brother, and that's what you are, is a murderer. Wonder where he works now too. So his name is all over the world. So he's just able to go back to his job. Huh? Think your name could be in the press for this, and you could just go back to whatever job you work right now? Who thinks this? Huh? Who thinks they could just waltz back into their job and clock in? It's nothing. Sean Scott, good evening to you. You say it's funny. I think you meant get a notification, but here I am. Salute to my melanated family out there. I'm glad you're here. Brandon Smith, shout out to you. He was a better act than Trapson. Okay, I don't know who Trapson is. Educate me so I'll know. And who was a better act than Trapson? I think I'll know that when you tell me who Trapson is. Let me know, Brandon. Cheryl, you say the New York governor, that New York governor is a bitch, bro. I already know that. I don't know if I've even seen her. Just the bitch is the mayor of New York, or the governor of New York, and the bitch's name is Kathy. It can't be good. All right. Brandon, tell me now. I want to come to this, you guys, because this is something I wanted to share with you yesterday, and we started having technical difficulties. And now that I've said it, we're going to have them. Inshallah, we're going to get through this. I have to share this with you because I said to you a long time ago, I mentioned this, probably over on Jedi Africa. This brother tells this story. And I haven't watched it, only what played when I was trying to get it started yesterday. But I think he has gone back and redid the video. I think he's telling the story. I think he left that all intact, but I think he edited in video to make it more, because I don't remember there being images. I remember having my own images of what was happening, you know? So I wanted to share that with you just so you would know that. But anyways, hear this now. I just make sure there was no other comments. Hear this and we'll talk on the other side. This is so good, y'all. This is so good. I hope you enjoy this as much as I do. I really do. Let's see. What am I going to do with me? Well, it's mostly the story. So my thing will be in the corner, but it won't matter. Because any images that he's showing is just images. It's not really... Just go with it, y'all. Now, let me bring you in. Wait, because, well... No, that's 11:30, you see? It's some bullshit. I'm trying to be at 5... What was it? 5:08? Or 5?
And I'm going to tell you the story in full. So...
Okay. 5:11. 1...
Hard. No.
5:11. You're going to love this, everybody. I cannot wait to hear your reactions after. This is so good.
In full. So, here's the story. So it was December 16, 2021. Joel and I woke up that morning. We decided, you know what? Let's go get some content. Of course, we're making content for a YouTube channel. So we grab a couple guys that usually will hang out with us, travel with us to kind of help us out and things like that. We pack our bags. And that day, the destination was in Banga, Bomi. And that day, the destination was in Bomi County, all the way to the Blue Lake. Most of you guys have probably heard about it. Some of you have probably been there. Some of you have never heard about it. Or some of you have just seen it online and stuff like that. But that day, that was the day we decided to go to the Blue Lake. Our goal was to go there, capture some videos, and get some content, and just see the Blue Lake. You know, we've been talked about. We kind of wanted to experience it for ourselves. So we got up, we pack our bags, and it was exciting. Every time that there's road trips, I get excited because we're out in the field, we're out on the road, we get to experience the country, see new places, and just enjoy, right? So that's what we're doing. We pack our bags, got some meal, get gas in the truck. Our guy Jamare hopped in the front seat, and we started going. We driving, you know, having some fun, talking, sightseeing, stopping by the wayside, you know, buying some fruits, and you know, just enjoying a road trip like you normally would. So we got all the way to Bomi after I think about an hour or 2 hours or so, a little over 2 hours, pretty much 2 or 3 hours drive. We got to Bomi. It was pretty much around 4 o'clock. Our goal was to go right during midday sun to see the lake. According to, you know, people who've been there, they said that's the time, the best time to get the best appearance of the lake, right? That's the time that looks the most bluest. So we try to make it as quick as we could. We go a little faster. The car was, you know, a little bit not all there, so we didn't want to go too fast to kind of be safe. So we're driving. We got to Bomi. We veer up the highway on this dusty road, going all the way down to the Blue Lake. Of course, we passed a few villages, and we got to a last stop, right? Where we have to normally when we're going to these sightseeing places, the car, you know, can't reach all the way to the destination, right? You either have to stop and get on bikes. So we stopped in the last village right before the Blue Lake. We got down. We said, hey, let's stretch our legs. Let's get some food and things like that, right? They had a nice kobo shop restaurant there. That's some good food. I love cassava leaves. That's my favorite food. And they were selling it. I'm like, hey, let's get some. Joel loved to swallow GB of fufu. And they have some nice one. And 3 or 4 other guys that came with us that day to help us out that usually travel with us. We got down. We're in the village, a little town. We got some food. We ordered some food. They were taking forever with this food. It almost felt like they didn't want to serve us. So we were there. We're talking. Conversation came up. Say, hey, so where you guys are going? We're like, hey, we're here. We're trying to go and see the Blue Lake. And the lady was like, lady who owned the kobo shop. She's like, what are you guys gonna do? What is your purpose here? So we're like, we have a YouTube channel. We're trying to get some videos and pictures and things like that. So she was like, you know what? Okay, that's good. But you guys are not from around here. She mentioned the papi, the old guy. She's like, but you guys have to go and see the old man before you go to the lake. And, like, okay, I'm familiar. That's kind of what you do customarily, traditionally. You go to a town, you see the elder, you give a little something, whether it being money or gifts or whatever it is, just to acknowledge that you're there and what you're going to do. But we're Americans, man. We don't do that. So we're like, all right. I talked to Joel. Joel looked at me. I looked at Joel. I was like, yeah, we'll go see the old man. Yeah, all right. And we're over there. We got our food. The food took a little long. So then we waited for a bike. So we're like, okay, we're 5 of us. We needed at least 4 bikes because Joel liked to be on his bike by himself. I'm like, I don't mind. I can be on bike by somebody else. And we needed, I think, 4 bikes. So we tried to stop some bike guys that were sitting in the area, right? We said, hey, come kind of little. It's like, well, you can't just take any bike person out. It has to be specific people who know the area and are familiar with the area. We're like, okay, that's a little strange, but I get it. Maybe the road is not that good, and there are only certain people that goes to these places. But it felt like it was more than that. It felt like it had something more to do with just something more than just knowing the road. And I had that feeling. I was like, okay, strange, but it's cool. We'll find the people. But then also, the lady reminded us, don't forget to go see the old man. Go to he called the papi name, the older guy who lived just a few blocks down behind, like a mud house, right? And so we're like, okay, we'll go see the old man. And Joel and I looked at each other like, man, we're trying to see this lake when the sun is up. We already got that little past the time we're supposed to get there, so time is running out. I'm like, bro, let's go, man. Let's just go. So we got the bikes. The bike guy asked us again, you see the old man? We said, no, let's just go. It's like, you sure? He said, yeah. All right, cool, man. What is this old man gonna do? Like, yeah, maybe we're just gonna go and give him money. Like, look, man, let's just go. So we got on the bike, started going down the street. And I don't know, just strange things started happening. I don't know. I don't believe in I don't know what to make of it, okay? So I'm just going to explain exactly what happened. So we're going down, just weird things started happening, right? The guy who the claim was the best bike driver, just the bike started shaking. The bike started shaking quite a bit. Shaking, we're going. And it stopped. Just, there's no gas issue, nothing. It just stopped in the middle of the road. And right when it did, behind us, the other guys who were with us were on, the whole thing just fell down, slide on the side of the road. Fell down all the way in the grass. And I'm like, I looked behind, I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, why are all these things happening to these bikes? And the guy who was on my bike said, you know what? This is strange. This thing really doesn't happen. My bike is good. I did maintenance on it. It's full. The tank is full. I never go this road without filling the tank. And it's just a little weird. So we hop back on. I was like, started getting some strange feeling, but I'm like, whatever, man. Look, we're Americans. All right. So we got back on the bike. We started going. And the sun started going down a little bit. And as we were going, we saw this animal that just crossed in front of us. And the guy stopped. He stopped the bike. And I'm like, what's going on? I saw it, but I mean, the road is going through the forest all the way down, right? So of course there are animals in the area. So it wasn't anything strange. He stopped the bike, and the other guy who was on the bike behind us stopped, and he started talking to the guy, right? But he was speaking, I don't know what language he was speaking. Gio, I don't know what language. What people are in Bummy, I don't know. I don't understand. The only language I understand is few crew. Na Fuede. That's it. So the guy started talking to the guy in the language, and he started pointing to where the animals went. I'm like, this shouldn't be anything to talk about. I mean, this is a forest. You guys live around this area. I bet you see animals cross all the time. But then I asked him what's going on. He's like, oh, this. He called the name. He's like, oh, the animal that just passed here, typically, it's the animal we try to stay away from. It's a smaller animal. I'm like, why? Is a smaller animal, probably a raccoon or whatever. I'm like, why is that? He's like, in the village, that's the animal that we try to stay away from, right? Because he said people are an animal. And, again, we're Americans. So I'm like, look, I've heard about all these things before. I've never believed in these things, right? But he said people are in animals. And typically the animal that passed is the animal that people are usually in, right? And that's why when they see that animal, they try to stay away, or like the animal, they don't really interact with the animal, right? So I'm like, bro, like, you people are getting animals now. What's going on? And Joel, Joel is Liberian, but Joel is American. Like, like all of these things don't make, like, it don't make no. He's like, bro, if somebody's in an animal, and we started making fun, started making joke, like, started making jokes, like, well, if somebody in the animal, they call the person, and stuff like that. And the guys, we were laughing. The guys weren't laughing at all. So I was like, and Joel and I look at each other like, this is weird. But the other guys who were on the bikes who came with us, they laughed a little bit, but they seemed a little concerned, because they live in Liberia, of course. So they seemed a little bit concerned. So they're like, okay, you know what? Let's go, man. Time is running out. We gotta go. So they got on the bike. And as we're driving down the road, the guy on my bike, he kept looking around. Like, I took him a GoPro, my phone, I started filming, and I'm like, okay, maybe if something else weird happened, I can catch this on camera, right? So we're going, and he asked me again. He's like, so why you didn't see the pape? I was like, why you guys didn't see the old man? I'm like, well, we didn't have time, and like, we'll see when we come back. What does this really matter? He's like, yeah, well, we supposed to see the pape before we started going to the place. So because this place, the people that eat animal over here, and some people that like they own and live in the lake. I'm like, what? Like, this started getting weird. And he was telling me about this snake that's in the lake, right? He said there's this anaconda, a boa constrictor that live in the lake, huge, that's been living there for years. But he said there's people usually, they're in that animal. They would turn into the animal, and that's typically that snake that goes there. And I'm like, what? Bro, I'm American. So I'm like, okay, again, like, I'm not far removed from the tradition and the culture and this folklore and this folktales, right? I know about this. I've heard about it. I've just never lived in a room. I've always lived in a city. So we've heard about these things, but I've never really encountered anything. So it's all just been legends, right? And like things like that. So I'm like, well, cool. We started going, we're going. When we finally made it to the lake, it's a beautiful place. And we went down the hill, and you can see the lake on the left side, and you see the water is blue. It wasn't as blue as it normally would be at like around 2 or 3 when like the sun is like above. We got there after 4, pretty much going towards 5. So the lake was blue, but not too blue. So we arrived at the lake, and there were some people swimming. There were a lot of kids in the area. They're swimming around the lake and stuff like that. And as soon as we pulled up on the lake, there was a gentleman sitting in the little hut on top somewhere else. When we pulled up to the lake, and we got down, all of us got off on the bike, we went, and the guy just hopped up. He came down from the hut. He's like, oh, how you doing? What are you guys here to do? We're like, oh, we here to film and stuff like that. He's like, oh, okay. And then he talked to the guy. He said, oh, it's okay. And they saw the pape. I'm like, what? Like, what's up with this pape? Why we gotta see this pape?
The old man.
And
pape.
he's like, no. He's like, oh. And immediately he's like, oh, okay. He just looked at us and he just left. He just left. He left. Like, he didn't just go back where he was sitting. He just got his stuff and just went off and he just left. I'm like, bro, you know what? Let's get this footage and get out of here. At this point, just weird things happening now, right? Let's get out of here. Let's put this drone up, get the footage, get some pictures, and let's just go. First of all, it's getting dark and we need to get back on these bikes and head out, right? We don't want to get dark and riding bikes in this forest, in this bush. So, all right, cool. So Joel was like, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put this drone up and we'll see what happens. So and you know, I don't fly the drone, but I'm gonna fly the drone this time. So I put the batteries in the drone and everything. The batteries were like charged and all of that. We usually carry extra batteries. So, you know, I put the thing in there and the other kids were looking at us. Hey, you know, Laura, like intrigued by the drone. I put the drone up and I started flying the drone. I flew the drone towards the lake, flew it over the lake, and I reached the middle part of the lake. And then something strange happened. And the drone controller, all of a sudden, the battery just said low. And this battery was charged, right? It was charged. And the battery just like low, it started blinking, low, 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 low. I'm like, what? Like, these batteries are full. Before we leave the house, we charge these things overnight. What the hell? But I'm like, I didn't freak out because the drone has a built-in safety where when the battery is low, the drone automatically comes back to where it picks up from.
Turns to home.
Like without you doing anything at all, it will just come back right to where it picked up from and go. The battery will never die in the air. You know, like unless you override it and put it back in the air, but it'll come down by itself unless you push it back up or something, right? So I'm like, this is strange. And so I'm like, cool. And the drone is like, battery low, battery low, battery low, coming home. And the drone already in the middle part of the lake at the time. And the drone started coming back. And I was like, just coming back. Like, this is not I'm not even lying. This is not even like exaggeration. The drone was coming back on its own and it stopped. Like, I'm saying this is like, my skin is like, goosebumps is like coming back on my skin because I'm just like remembering exactly what happened. It's just strange. The drone stopped and started going down. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? The drone just started going straight down. So then I looked at the controller and I override it, right? It has an option to override it where it's not automatic no more. It comes back on its own. So I press override and I press the home button. I started controlling the back. The drone attempted to come back and it stopped again and started going straight down. And I'm pressing the home. It went straight down in the water and straight under the water. Straight down under. The footage on the drone that we've captured over the lake, I never got to see it because the drone captures the whole lake and the lake is clear, so you can kind of see a little bit under the lake. It just went down, straight down in the water, straight to the bottom. And this lake is one of the deepest lake in all of Liberia. It's so deep, almost getting to 300 foot deep. If you don't know, if you want to imagine what 300 foot deep is take the Eiffel Tower. You can take the Eiffel Tower and put it in the lake, take another Eiffel Tower and put it in the lake, and both of them will fit underneath the lake. Wow. That's how deep it is. So I'm like, what the hell? I'm just like, I'm lost for words. And the thing just went straight down and I'm like, what the hell? Get it? And they're like, no, we can't get it. The lake is too deep. And the other kid was like, the other kid in the water, he's the best swimmer. Everybody's like, oh, call this guy. He's the best swimmer. He goes under. Because there are some trees hanging over the lake and mangoes and fruits fall in the lake and goes down. He said, everybody's like, oh, this is the kid that goes down to the bottom and retrieve the mangoes and whatever it is. So he swims pretty good. So we called the kid. I'm like panicking. Like, look, can you go down and try to get this drone and da-da-da? He's like, I know, I will try. I'm going to go get it. And he pointed to the area. He went there and he went down the bottom. Like after 3 seconds, he came back up. I'm like, what, did you see anything? He's like, be better, I can't go down there. Like, what? He said, be better, I can't go. He said, like, as soon as I go down, like my whole ear, everything just lock. And he's a good swimmer. Like, he goes down further. This kid can hold his breath for a long time and goes down and gets stuff. And now he said he can't. He's like, people, I can't help you. I can't go down there. I'm like, what? So we tried to panic. We did everything. We couldn't do anything. So we like, okay, let's head back to the village. And we went back to the village. We got back on the bike, we sped back to the village. It was getting darker. We got there and we're like, I don't know. I'm like, Joel, maybe we should. I mean, we can't go see the old man. I don't know. I don't know what this, I don't know. But I'm just explaining. I don't know what's going on. You guys help me out. Comment below and let me know what you're thinking so far. So we got back to the village and they're like, okay, so we explained it to the lady. The lady's like, all right. Like, he wished he sounded like as if, well, this is what you get. So we're like, can anybody in this village swim that goes down? And that was one of the time I clicked the name Eric. And in Liberia, Eric is Eric. So I'm like, they're like, Eric, Eric can go down there. I'm like, what is Eric? It's like, is it Eric? Yeah, Eric. Yeah, okay. So Eric is the only guy in the village that can go down to the lake. And the people are telling me Eric is the guy who he's an animal, right? So he can change into an animal and go down. And that's what he does. People are like, well, at night, Eric would go down to the lake and change into an animal and goes down and retrieve fruits and other things like that. He stays down there forever. So Eric can do it. But like, well, Eric can't do it in you guys' presence, right? So you got to find Eric, and Eric will go there at night to try to retrieve your drone. Joy's like, man. So the man seen animal. Joy's like, I gotta see this guy in this animal. Like, this guy was crazy. He's like, bro, charge this camera, get the GoPro, get the phone. I want to see the man in the animal. Like, he's got to get in the animal and go down. I want to record it, we'll put it on YouTube. But like, no, he's got to do it on his own. So we look for Erie in the village. We look for Erie. We sat there for like 2 hours. It was dark. We look for Erie. We couldn't find Erie. Somebody came back to us and said, oh, they saw Erie earlier. Erie said he was coming to call Erie on his phone. Erie said he's coming, but then Erie just didn't show up. Later on that evening before we left, they said Erie was in jail. Like, that's just another story. I don't know why he was in jail or whatnot, but he was in jail. So we got in our car. We started heading back to town. It was already dark now. So we're like, oh man, it's dark. Of course, we all know there's no lights on the road in Liberia now, or that side of the town, not everywhere. There are lights in other places of Liberia, in the city, but we're all the way out in the outskirts, right? So we got back on the road and we started going. We going. Look, all these things I'm talking, it's not exaggeration. So we going, right? We're driving, we're talking about amongst ourselves. It's just, everything was just strange. Like, the whole trip is just strange. So we're talking amongst ourselves, and we're explaining everything that happened. And then we hear on the car, like, boom, underneath the car, like, what is going on? And the car started shaking. So we're driving, oh geez. And the guy driving pulled off. Our guy pulled off to the side of the road. We got down, and underneath the car, the entire axle is just broke. We have not even gotten far from the village. All right, that's where we started panicking. And the thing about it though is, like, the guy who was driving us, he's well known, right? And like, he's well known. People know he's not afraid of nothing. He knows everything that goes in the country, whether it being superstitious or anything. But then this guy looks scared now. That's when I got scared. Because when I saw him, he looked scared. He's telling us, well, we're not far from this village. And now the car, just the entire axle just broke off. Like, it's literally hanging there. He's like, we got to get out of here. I look at Joel. We look at each other, we're like, okay, this is getting everybody in the car, everybody's face changed. We're talking about what happened, laughing a little bit. Now nobody's laughing. And we're like, okay, this is getting serious. So we out there, my heart started pounding. Joel's, the guy who was driving, and like, the thing about it was, like, I felt like this guy knows something we didn't know. Like, if you don't know, like, if you're oblivious to something, like kids, right? Children do dangerous things. They don't know the side effect. Like, as an adult, you know what could happen. So I'm there, I'm thinking, okay, what's the worst thing that could happen, right? You know, we can try to get it here. We can sleep in this car by the road, whatever. Like, but this guy just looked terrified. He just like, we just need to get the hell out of here. And I'm like, I'm just getting scared. I'm like, this shouldn't be that big of a deal. Like, we can call, we can sleep. I'm just like, okay, it's a big deal to him. He's freaking out now. Look, I got scared now. Joel, like, everybody got scared. Joel's like, you know what, bro? Like, I'm gonna drive this car. We're not trying to get out of here. So the guy sitting in the front seat. I just keep looking at this guy. I just keep looking at him. I can just see his straight face. I'm like, this guy knows something we don't know. He knows something we don't know. And so Joel got in the front seat. Joel started driving the car. And he's just driving. He's driving the axle just broke. The car is going like, we're going like 7 to 10 miles per hour.
Wow.
And it took us 3 hours to get there. And at that time, it's like around 10 o'clock p.m. You know, when it's like 7 o'clock, everything is dark. It's around 10 o'clock p.m. because we stayed so long in the village trying to find this Ira guy. So we're driving, go on the road, just going literally 10 miles per hour. Just the car is just like, everybody's face is like straight, no music in the car. It's silent. We're just going. And this guy in the front seat just kept looking outside. Like, yo, man, and it's dark. And we're going, you know, just like the Liberia, the highway, that side, is 2 lanes. So like bush is coming all the way to the road, bush is coming close to the road. So he's looking outside the window. He just kept looking in the view mirror, looking outside. I mean, it's pitch dark. No cars coming. We're the only car on that road. No car coming. And the car headlight it goes this far. Like, that's it. And we just going. And he's just looking in the view mirror. He's looking over. I'm like, what the hell? Like, we got to get out of here. And we started going. We spent like almost 5 hours. It going like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. And then we started getting closer to the city. And we started getting a little more relief. We got back home like around 4, almost 5 a.m.
Yeah.
We spent on our road. But we made it back home. We never got our drone. We never heard from Eric again. We might try to find Eric when we get back there next time. But that's the story. I don't know the ending is not climax and anti-climax, whatever the movie term is. But yeah, man, that's kind of like the weirdest thing that happened and weirdest day that happened. I still don't know what to make of it. Other than that, when we got back, we had fun, beautiful time. We enjoyed the country. We went places and we got more content for you guys and everything. One thing though is let me know if I should be telling more stories. I got a lot of stories. It doesn't all have to do with superstition or whatever. It's just everything. People and things that happen, interesting things, unique things that happen. I got a lot of stories. If you want me to stick to more of these mysterious, unique type storytelling, I can do that as well. There are a lot of folklore that's from Liberia. I want to keep it Liberia or Africa as a whole. I can draw from other stories that happen in Liberia and, second-handed down story. I can tell it, in between our normal content, right? Every now and then I need to do some content that is just something that is just, you just listen to and listen, on your nice day off and stuff like that. But there it is, guys. Thank you for sticking through. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for welcoming me back as a family. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Let me know again if you want me to do more storytelling. Also, I'm making more videos. Comment below what you want me to talk about, what topic you want me to talk about, and as I'm making these new videos. Because sometimes I get stuck. I don't know what to talk about, as far as topics and stuff like that. So comment below. Help me out. Just comment below. Hey, talk about this, talk about this, talk about that. That gives me more idea. But anyways, guys, I'm back. Expect more videos. I'm telling you, expect more videos from me. I'm bringing more content. We're going to do some podcasts. We're going to do some, we're working on a lot, right? So I know I keep saying that, but we're working on a lot. It's all going to come together. Be patient, and thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next one.
You can
Peace.
go and subscribe and check out his channel, everybody. It's called Liberia to the World. You see it there. I can't highlight it. Damn it. Liberia dash to the world. You probably need the dash. Just put in Liberia to the world, and poof, there you will see the brother. I came across him when I was actually looking at Liberia as my country of destination, somewhere in between the debacle with Ghana, my sister's bullshit, and some other stuff. And I was like, well, maybe Liberia, you know. And then I was, because I already had a Delta ticket, I was also looking at countries that I could just still use my Delta ticket to fly there. You feel me? I will say this, though. He did redo the video, because the first time that I saw it, there wasn't video accompaniment to the story. Because I remember just imagining my own thing, and some of the stuff that he showed, that's exactly what I was imagining, you know. But it was just this, did you go see the old man? Did you go see the old man, you know? And I think when I first told you about it, because when I first saw it, one of the thoughts that came upon me was, there's so much about spirituality and that we don't know, and that is from the old in Africa, you know. And as Muslims, Allah says to mankind, not just Muslims, but just those of us who submit, we are Muslims. But it's to mankind. So Allah says to mankind that we are to believe in the unseen realm. There's a whole video on this channel, I think, that I did called The Jinn. It's about the jinn. This is the civilization of beings that Allah created before He created mankind. And they exist today in the unseen realm and in the physical realm. And they can either help you and assist you, or they can be against you. This is not sorcery. This is real. This is from the creator of the heavens and the earth, you know. And this falls in line with that, because we don't know everything there is to know about existence. And you know, when he talked about the one guy, Eric, that can go down and you know, and take the form of an animal, you know, I ain't really ready to dismiss that out the, you know, all quick. You feel me? Like, I am inclined to believe it. You know, I still would want to see it, but I'm not willing to just throw it out like, that would never happen. Nah, I'm here for that. And you know, the pecking order. I also find it interesting that he was calling the old man Papa, because we do that in Ghana, in Gambia. You know, any elder that you don't know their name, you're not related to them, you just can call them Papa, you know. And the drone thing was really significant for me. All of it was. The car at the end, the axle just breaking out of nowhere, you know. But you could almost explain that away, but not really, you know. If you just really needed to, you'd be like, well, let's see, what can I just explain away? Well, the axle could have broke. Maybe it was just old, and it was just, you know, whatever. And the axle broke. It's a car. You know, the axles break, you know, stuff like that. But the motorcycle just cutting off, and you know, animals coming out of nowhere. And then everybody is saying, did you go see the old man? Did you go see? You know? But the drone was really telling, because I don't know what brand they have or whatever, but these high-tech drones are pretty much all have the same technology. And that they're fail-safe. So if the drone loses signal for a length of time, like it'll give you a little, like, I don't know, 30 to 60 seconds or something, if it loses signal. It won't just immediately come back. It's waiting like, okay, the signal could reestablish. But if, after a certain amount of time, if the signal doesn't come back, that drone will come back and return and land where it took off. You know, the battery, if the battery just goes dead, which it can happen, you know, but if the battery is just really low, because the onboard computers calculate your distance, altitude, and all that stuff, and it's calculating as you're flying out, it's calculating how much would you need to get back, you know, and it'll throw up warnings like you need to return home. But if you feeling it, you kind of then you can override that and go on. But still, it has the fail safe. If the battery gets too low, you can't override it. The battery it will come back and land where it took off. Then he was saying like it had gone into the return sequence, which you can override that. If it starts to return, you can override it. Like, no, I'm not ready to return home, you know. Well, I should say on some of them, because on mine, if it depends on how far out I am and what my battery level is, I can override the return and go, no, I'm not returning. You know, you don't know what you're talking about. But there's other situations where you try to abort the return and it won't hear it. It, no matter what you're doing and pressing and clicking, it's coming back. But this thing just goes down in the fucking lake. And then the dude goes into the lake, this expert swimmer, and is like, nah, I can't. I mean, there's so much lore, everybody. There's so much lore, and I don't think it's all just lore. And it is lore, but not in a, all lore is not bad. You know, all lore is not fictional. You know, this is lore, but it's you know, it's real. And you know, there's a lot about existence and history and humanity that we just don't experience and don't know. You know, my grandmama was from the old school, so I think about some of the things that just we would call them superstitions now, but I didn't think of it that in those terms growing up. But if you just need that word, you know, things, you know, like to this day, like all growing up, I could not get up on time. I can't do it. And so my grandmother would always wake me up. No matter what was going on, my grandma would wake me up. I told her what time I'm gonna get up, she wake me up. Then she started telling me, you can get up on your own. Just before you lay your head down. Especially after I moved out. I'm like, Grandma, I won't be able to get up. You're not gonna be able to wake me up. I can't get up. She said, you just take your pillow. When you're ready to lay your head down on your pillow, whatever time you want to get up, you hit your pillow that many times and go on to sleep, and you'll wake up at that time. Wallahi. I promise you that shit works, man. I promise you, I swear on everything. You want to get up at 6 o'clock? Hit your pillow 6 times and lay down. You'll wake up at 6 o'clock. It's real. It's real, man. I mean, you know, you also remember my grandmother is born in 1908. Now we know about, you know, bacteria and germs and ooh. And if my grandma see bite your finger, she'd say, don't bite your nails. Your nails is poison. She'd say that. Your nails is poison. I learned later in life, one of the ways of the Muslim man is we always keep our nails cut back. You shouldn't have nails. I keep a little something on my pinky because I gotta pick my nose, gotta pick my teeth, pick my ears, you know. But I keep my nails back, you know. And when I got back here from Gambia, in fact, I think it was like the second day of Ramadan. Woke up, I got up for prayer, went back to bed, fine. I wake up for the day, I'm fresh, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden I start feeling sick, you know, like queasy, like I'm going to throw up, you know. And, you know, my saliva in my mouth started coming down, that whole thing, that process when you're about to vomit. And I remember my grandmama said, get you some ginger ale. So I was like, let me just see if it's gonna subside. If it don't, then I'll go, because I didn't want to go to the store. Finally, it didn't, and plus I knew if I do, I'm not gonna be able to fast. So, but it didn't. I ended up throwing up, and I'm like, I gotta go get some ginger ale. Got me some ginger ale. I didn't finish the bottle, and I was fine. Same thing happened when I was in Senegal. One day, Papa had fixed something for the brothers, and we were all in the living room eating. And just after we ate, I just was feeling like, oh my God, I'm gonna vomit. So I was like, I'll be back, brothers. And I went downstairs to this little store that's right across the street. And I'm like, they probably not gonna have no damn ginger ale in Senegal. But there it was, Schweppes ginger ale. So I got me some ginger ale, drank that, and I was fine. I mean, I got a million of them, you know. They just knew stuff, man. They just knew stuff. And this is in that same category, you know, for me. Let me see what you guys were saying. Where did I leave off? Where are my glasses? Oh. Brandon, say sorry, Keen. Michael Trepson, another Michael Jackson impersonator. Oh, okay. I promise you. Let me see if I can find my video. I won't be able to play the sound. I'm over it. But I can at least show it to you. Well, let me finish reading. Because I also have my nephew he did Michael Jackson for a talent thing at his school. And of course, he won. Of course. And you say Jordan was more talented. Son, you say that fruit was so beautiful and yummy. Anjane said, sound keeps going out for me. Thank you for that, Anjane. I was trying to monitor it. I didn't notice any glitches, but damn it. You go on to say, this man keeps saying he's American, but he sounds nothing like a black American to me based on his, yeah, he's Liberian. I don't know why. I was struck by that too, because I don't remember him saying that before. You feel me? His whole thing is promoting Liberia. I love him for that, and blah blah blah. And like, American, my nigga, how, where, when? This isn't a good one because it's so short. I want you to see the whole thing. Well, whatever. We'll take baby steps. I'll show you this one first. It's very short because nothing but bad luck follows me. So the sister that was recording this for me, I was so excited. Her name was Michelle, that just came back to me. Allahu Akbar. And she didn't live too far from my grandmother's. And I was so excited that she had filmed it. And when I went to go pick up the tape, she said, my father had taped over part of it. It's the story of my life, y'all. Me and my fiance were on a cruise. And, okay, when I'm parasailing in Mazatlan, she's got the video camera. I'm thinking she's got the whole thing. Get back. The bitch it's her buying turquoise jewelry. For what? We barely just catch my landing. I was pissed. Then on the ship, I did this whole performance. It was a passenger talent show, and I murdered. I'm not bragging I'm not popping my own collar. I'm just telling you the facts. I murdered like to the point where they kept playing my performance on Channel 2 all over the ship, the rest of the fucking cruise. And we couldn't get out of our stateroom. I was literally signing my own autograph. It was crazy. But what I'm trying to get to say is that performance, they were recording, but we had our video camera. Her only job was to film me. And she doesn't get the whole thing. I was pissed at that. I mean, I can't, man. It's just a curse. So this is another curse. Let me finish reading first. Son, you say, wow. Right, I hear the accent as well. Ray, Supreme, you say, I heard he was a MJ impersonator, and the first thing I thought about was the Jedi. I appreciate that, Ray. Miss GNX, it's been a minute, girl. Where you been? Let me find out. Black Power every hour, King Jedi. Your Majesty, sir. From Miss GNX. Good to see you, Queen. And a nod to your throne. Sandra, hey, dear friend. I'm so sleepy. So sleepy. Gotta get to bed. It is 10:56. I didn't notice the time. I sent you something over Cash App. Oh, thank you. Good night, Jedi and fam. The video was nice, especially that good-looking fruit. Anjane. I've refreshed and it's fine. I was able to hear the rest of it. He should have just went to see the old man. How many things have to happen before you listen? It's definitely a lesson in that, huh? I mean, this was. I mean. Let's see. Let me kill the sound. One. Okay, this first one's really short, and then I'll show you a couple other things. This is just so you guys just. Oh, wait. Okay. Oh, that's not even it. That's not even the beginning. Oh, no. Oh! This is the one I wanted to show you. SubhanAllah. Alhamdulillah. I was just like, never mind. Let me just show you this one. I'll have to look for the other one. I can't. I'm doing bad. So, I have a habit. Like, if you go to karaoke with me, I won't tell you what I'm doing. That was this other performance I did. I was doing Smooth Criminal. The two dancers had a fight over a fucking bow tie. So Lavelle wasn't there. Jacob was the worst dancer, so we had to make it work. But my friend Glenn Turman, who used to be on A Different World, played the Army sergeant or whatever he played. He's been in a lot of movies. Glenn Turman, friend, very nice man. Very, very nice. Doesn't age. Anyways, he was co-hosting that. It was a Black History thing, and I went and did my Michael Jackson thing. Strike that. This was what started it, because this was on Fort Lewis in Washington State. My brother was stationed there. I had just won a Michael Jackson. Oh no, I just won a lip sync contest in California. My brother was on leave. It's the first thing I ever did of Michael. And my girlfriend at the time, she's the biggest Michael Jackson fan that ever lived. And later she ended up meeting Michael, becoming friends with him. Her and her son used to go to Neverland. It was a whole thing, but I'm trying to shorten the story so it doesn't get long. Anyways, I said, I knew she had the Motown 25. That's the biggest thing I knew Michael did. I studied it, went in, did it, won. My brother saw that. He was like, man, they got a big lip sync thing up in Washington. You should come up. You would, you could win. So I was supposed to be up there for 2 weeks. I was there for 2 months. This was my first night. This was a Saturday. It was raining. It was standing room only. This was the spot on Saturday night. Everybody, mama, is there. It's packed to capacity. And we went the weekend before, and I saw the guy Prince and some other people, but we sat in the corner because I didn't want anybody to know me or be familiar with my face or anything like that. This night went back. My brother heard the music, but he didn't know what I was doing. So I had him bring up one of his military trench coats, and that's what you see me take off here. Because we got to the club early so I could sit in the corner in the dark. Because people have an expectation when they see you. I even hate when I watch, like, what is it? Any of these shows, American Idol, stuff like that, and they come out, okay, what are you going to sing for us? I don't want to know. Because then they say it, then it sets up. I have a weird thing like that. I don't want to know. Give it to me and let me see it for what it is right now. That's it. Like if you go to karaoke with me, you go, what are you going to sing? I don't know. I'm totally lying. I know what I'm singing, but I don't want you to have a preconceived notion. Just see it and judge it when I do it, and that's all you need to know. So this was it. And this, no makeup, no any of that. And I made the outfit myself, but the response to me was so overwhelming. They went crazy. My brother had to get the military police to get me to the bathroom when I came off the stage. When we went to the bathroom, we came back, our table was full of drinks, and I don't drink. People were sending drinks over, phone numbers, all of it. It was crazy. I was there for 2 months. I went to their entire lip sync circuit, won every single fucking show. This was started it all. And so when I got back to Los Angeles, I called up our agent that we had when we used to do Janet Jackson and said, I do Michael Jackson. And that set off my career. Here we go. So I can't play the sound. And I probably won't play it all. Just you have to infer. There I'm taking off the coat. And the glasses. Sorry about the video quality. Just to watch your mouth. I know your game, what you're about. When they say the sky's the limit, and to me that's really true. But my friend, you have seen nothing. Just wait till I get through because I'm bad. I'm bad. Yeah. Just so you can hear the crowd response a little bit. Crowd, crowd. And they went up. And you always hold it. Down, ladies, down. Give them a flourish and be out. Anyways, it was frightening almost. Like the response was just so surprising. My brother was just like, because I'm just his pissy little brother. You feel me? Like, why would anybody be screaming for me? Anyway, I'm glad I ran by that into that because I was just content that I was gonna have to look for this one, but there it was. Alhamdulillah. All right, your comments, and we're gonna be out, everybody. Let me also say, you guys, let us not slack. Where is it? I said I wasn't going to be obsessive and anal about this, but I have to do my jurisprudence. Because too many people are going past and not acknowledging the link for the GoFundMe for this mosque in the Gambia, everybody, where I was living. I need you to go and put something on there, or you can do it on the Cash App. There's been people donating on the Cash App. Alhamdulillah, and thank you guys all for your donations. You can donate on the Cash App. That's underneath the video, the Jedi 1814, $, the Jedi 1814. Or you can go to the GoFundMe. The link for the GoFundMe is under here. But I produced a whole video. You see the mosque. I interview the imam. I'm telling you the story. I did aerial footage with the drone. I did everything so it'd be very transparent for you so you could understand. If you're watching me, we all got to pay something for these every month. That means you got at least $1. Go and put something on the GoFundMe, everybody, or put something on the Cash App. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. And if you don't, ask yourself why you're not doing it. I'd like to know that. I'd like to know that. In fact, we'd all like to know it. I'd like to know it. I'd like to know it. But don't pass by, you guys. Don't. We didn't get a chance. I knew we weren't going to be able to get it done before the rain season this year. I knew that because the rain season starts in June. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to finish. I didn't finish producing the video, putting the pieces together, and doing the editing until I came back here. That's why I had to bring my whole computer back, because I would have had no way to edit the video and put it together, put the sections and all that stuff, put in titles and music and blah blah. So I had to bring it. I had to do that here, and so that's time lost. So I knew that, but still, I need you to go and give what you can. I just watched. In fact, I took a screenshot. What did I call it? This is worth sharing. This guy was up here talking about. Well, maybe it'll say it in the screenshot that I took for you. I took this just for you so that you could see this guy is up here talking about something insignificant and don't matter, but people are just donating money to the fucking channel like it's just the waterfall. And God love him. And no shade to his, his donors and all of it. Haha. But it still was glaring to me. Here I'm raising this money for a very, very good cause. We're trying to finish and repair this mosque. It's about the shooting at the mall in Texas. Let me bring you in. This will be our last thing. And then I'll read the last comments and we'll be out. Here it was. I just thought, I had the presence of mind. Take a screenshot of that, Jedi. Come on. All right, there it is. Oh, damn it, I'm in the way. Urgh. All right, well, let me see. What can I do? Wait. Move it over. Come on. Okay, look at this. And that's just a screen because it was live. So I just like, it was moving, you see? But you see, they're just donating. Just donating. Donate. Wait, there's another one. Wait, where's the arrow? How do I go to the next one? And he's up here talking about the shooting at the mall in Texas, dude. Look. Look. You feel me? And it was just going. He's not asking for donations for any cause. He's just talking about the shooting at the mall in Texas. We got to do better, African people. I mean, you know, white people do shit just on kindness and just because and shit. I'm asking you. So please go either to the GoFundMe or to the Cash App and at least leave $1. Just do that. Just do that. And if you'd like any recognition for your donation, you can holler at me and I'll be sure to highlight you and tell the world. Not a problem. I really mean that. Cheryl, you say, Jedi, you're funny as hell. I don't think so. I know I'm funny, but you know, if I'm just incidentally funny. I think if somebody said be funny, I couldn't do it. You go on, Cheryl, to say, Jedi, oh my God, get it. Love your moves in this video. Sweet D, that's you? Wow. Yeah, and that's what I say. And I've shown you guys still pictures. I'm not going to try and find those now. I've shown you guys where I look just like Michael. But you see me sitting here now, you go, that dude does not look like Michael Jackson at all. And that's my hair, let's be very clear. No wigs for the Jedi. Brandon, you say, I'll never forget this. On point, Jedi. Thank you, Brandon. Righteous, you say, damn, Jedi, you had MJ down pat. That night looked really fun. It was something. It was nothing but black folks, too, on Fort Lewis. It's a black army base. Trust it. Jada Frazier, my little sister. I love you so much. I miss you. Hey, little sis. It's so good to see you. It's so good to see you too, Jada. Wow. SubhanAllah. I'm landing. Wheels down. We taxiing now on the runway. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And it was unexpected. It was a revelation for me, really, because, as I say, I'm me. And then even after I hooked up with the agent, and then it just kind of blew up. The only person that I put over me, because there's a lot of guys that look more like Michael than me. Certainly my friend Eric Evans. He goes by the name E. Casanova. He toured with Michael. He was a double for Michael. I brought you guys him in previous years. Highlighted him, did videos. He is the spitting image of Michael Jackson. His only drawback is he's bow-legged and he kicks with the wrong leg. But I know his posturing. So while he looks identical to Michael, I mean, it's crazy. And he had surgery. I had the misfortune, I'll call it, of seeing him on Entertainment Tonight. I had just seen him in Hollywood like maybe a few days, maybe a week before. Me and him and this guy named Jarvis, we used to hang out at Paradise or Florentine Gardens in Hollywood. It's a big dance club. The dance floor alone holds 2,000 people and it rotates. It's a massive club. And it's an all-white building. Like I never went there unless I was in a stretch limousine. But me, him, and Jarvis that's where we met. And so I was in Hollywood one day, probably with Donna's ass. But from one of the buildings I was in, I saw Eric. I didn't know it was Eric. I saw this guy in the Way You Make Me Feel. He had the fedora, the blue shirt, the thing tied around the Way You Make Me Feel. And so I was like, I gotta go and see who this dude is. Turns out it was Eric. But he had just had his cheeks done, so he was all bumpy. And then we walked up and down Hollywood for a while, and then him and Jarvis got into this jalopy that he was driving, and we were conversating, and he left or whatever. But I'm just trying to say, because maybe a week after that, there he was on Entertainment Tonight, and being interviewed by Nancy Hart, and she was saying, "You really look like Michael Jackson. Now, have you had any plastic surgery?" He goes, I'm very honored that Mother Nature has been my plastic surgeon." Lies and scandal, Eric. I just saw your cheek. Anyways, but whatever. He looks just like Michael, but he's not a dancer. So even if you see a show, and this isn't taking away. I'm just trying to distinguish the difference. For me, I was very strict. Even in that performance, Michael did not moonwalk in Bad. So why would I moonwalk on that song? It wouldn't happen. If he didn't do it, I don't do it. There is some choreography that I stuck in there because there's nothing happening. Or in the video, something else is happening that's not dance. So I need to fill that music in. So I put in some choreography that wasn't Michael. But the audience doesn't know that, you know. And, but dance-wise, there wasn't a lot of impersonators that could really encapsulate Michael's presence the way that I was able to. I really studied him. Really studied him. Eric got better over the years. It's little things. Like, if you are somebody that's studying somebody for that reason, and you see Eric, you know it. You, okay, I see you tighten that up. Okay, okay, all right, he did that. You know, things like that. But yeah, man, it took me a lot of places. I met and did a lot of things that I otherwise wouldn't have done. But for the fact that and it started organically, because back when I was in high school, you know, my father cut my hair all growing up. I always keep my hair cut. And after just before I was leaving home, because I graduated when I was 17, at some point when I was going to my senior prom, that's when it started. Because at my senior prom, my sisters wrestled me into a bathroom and said, "You cannot go to prom with your hair like that." And they put an S curl in my hair, and it took so well. And then before that, I used to always get Todd Bridges, whatever. But as soon as my hair was curled, as soon as I put on a pair of sunglasses, people start saying Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson. Couldn't get away from me. So that's why this night that I won this lip sync contest at this club that my brother saw me at, they came to me and said, "There's a lip sync contest. It's $200. You could win if you do anything by Michael Jackson." So that's when I called my girlfriend and said, you know, "Bring me this video. Let me see if I can, you know." And just so happened, my friend Donna, my college friend, her sister, the band she was in, their color guard wore those sequin sweaters like that. So I had the sweater like he wore for Motown 25. It was a whole thing. Anyways, I won, and then my brother was like, "Yeah, you should come to Washington." I went, and then it just kind of launched the whole thing, man. Oh, but there's one other thing I could. Well. I don't know if we need it. What time is it? 8, 9, 10, 11:30. If I see it right now, I'll play it. If I don't, I'm over it. 20 seconds. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. Is this it? And this is such a disaster, you can't really see because the lighting is so bad. I'll just play it. And we'll be out. Okay, read all the comments. Yeah, it was at Jada Righteous. You said Jedi had a A Jerry curl. But you know what, Righteous? My hair was so long and so heavy, most people didn't think I had a Jerry curl. It looked natural. I never had a greasy curl. I could wear nice clothes. You could touch it. It wasn't, I don't want to get that personal, but I'm saying, just it was no problem. No matter what I was doing. Okay, to the video. Alrighty. I thought there was a question in the back. Did you have a question, Sarah? Was that you? Was that you? Okay. One. Bring you guys in. Hopefully I'm out of the way. Alright. This dude saw me. His name was Sean. But he had a lot of money. He'd seen one of my shows, and they were doing this big production. I'm trying to shorten the story. Anyways, he wanted to make me the center of it. Big deal. And a lot of money. And I went, while we're at his house, his girlfriend's house actually, to film me for the investors so they could see, yeah, okay, we want to bring this guy in, you know. So he was like, if you could just come and do something, we just get you on film just at the house, whatever. The only problem with this is that the lighting is bad and the bitch is drunk, his girlfriend. In fact, I think I edited out at the beginning. She goes, I'm bad, I'm really, really bad. And dances around like a drunken white bitch. So she wasn't, so the light is not hitting the makeup. I'm wearing makeup. And so when the light hits it, it's Michael Jackson. But see it for what it is, everybody. Even this planter that's above me, if she had moved this bullshit up here, that would have brought more light into the room. You do what you can. You do what you can. I don't hear nothing. Oh, did you see the bitch holding the lamp? Wait, let me go back. Wait. Look, you can barely see her. I think there'll be another chance. I can't remember now. I'll stop it here after this move. There's the bitch holding the lamp. Look. Like as if that's gonna do anything now, bitch. Look, y'all. White bitch with lamp. Just title it white bitch with lamp. That. Anyways. Oh, this. I'll just get to this clip really quickly. Right at the very end. That reminds me of his Pepsi commercial. Anyways. Summation, everybody. Summation. Summation, summation, summation. My summation is this. We are in a slow boil genocide of our people in this country from white people. Everyone else who has any issue with us, they're emulating and taking a cue from white people and us, because they realize when they see something like Jordan Neely, they realize, oh, they don't come and crack our teeth, you know, and so then they think that they can pile on, you know. It is time, and we're justified legally, morally, spiritually, whatever lee you need, to have a violent response to the violent attack upon our people in this nation. We shouldn't be waiting for police investigations and grand juries and all that. We should be going out and exacting justice. We're acting like we're held hostage to what somebody else says about our life on the earth. Remember, you're a sovereign human being created by the divine. No one has greater power than you on the earth. I'm the boss of me. You don't tell me what to do. I'm me. I tell me what I'm doing. My responsibility is to righteousness and the divine, and those things are synonymous. Do you understand? It is time for a physical response, a physical answer. They have to feel the pain of our whatever on their ass, their face, whatever it is. They got to feel that physically. No more pastors coming out and crying mothers and let's wait for an investigation. Fuck all that. Because there's another one. There's probably one now as I'm speaking. I'm going to say there's another one happening right now as I'm speaking. There, I said it, and it's going to be true. Watch, I said it. You know, for me, it's kind of I've kind of divorced myself of it in some regard, because, as I say, I don't consider myself to be a citizen of this country anymore. You know, I have found my home in the Gambia, and I don't want to live out the rest of my life dealing with white people, you know. And as I said to you before I left for Gambia, It's either revolution and liberation or it's Africa for me, bitches. Because I'm happy to devote the rest of my life to liberation and revolution if that's what we're going to do. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do what's never been done. Let's show these motherfuckers that a new day has come. We're over the old way. That won't fly anymore. You understand? Precincts will be leveled. This fucker, now with the age of the internet, you could find his address very easily. You understand? All of that. His attorney at least is a public person. That's at least a Watergate break in the middle of the night to go through files and find out the address. I mean, there's ways. You understand what I'm telling you? Where there's a will, there's a way, and you go through any wall you need to go through to accomplish the goal. But we are let down by Christianity and what the chain that it puts on the soul and the character of African people. And we're let down by black males. I'm not going to say men because there aren't really a whole lot of black men walking around the earth in this nation. You understand? It's just a bunch of grown-ass niggas that want to puff out their chest and woof for nothing. They're not worthy of honor, not worthy of respect, not worthy of the title of man, and should be holding their head in shame 24 hours a day at their lack of action, lack of engagement, not leading, not defending. You know, that's the cloth I'm cut from. That's never been a question to me, you know. And when I started out doing YouTube videos back in 2014 or 15, I just thought, oh, I can speak to the whole world. Psh, my people won't hear me. It's going down now. And I just thought I will connect with my people. We all feel the same way. It's going down, until it didn't. I began to see it's just a lot of fucking talking heads. And now I'm not even giving them the credit of talking heads because they ain't really saying shit. Most of them can't talk no damn way. And then it's just the platform clout chasers. You know, here they are with their Patreons and their members only and their merchandise. And they just want you to donate to their channel just because they fucking exist and shit. And they're definitely on YouTube to get all the views so they get that YouTube check. I don't have any of that shit going on. You understand? And most of all, there's no leading to... When I noticed that there was... When I found, whenever, back in the early days of being on YouTube, and I realized there was these black brothers out there with these big followings. I'm like, well, where's your fucking movement at? You know? Tariq Nasheed is happy to show up someplace for a fucking talk, which will be of some gain to him or some bullshit. But where's your movement, Tariq? I called them all out in a video that I did early on. Him, Fat Ass Phil, just anybody, any black YouTubers that I knew, males that had a big following, I called them out. Where's your following? And I sat then at probably, I don't know, I mean, maybe under 1,000 subscribers, you feel me? I worked my way to 23,000, but I made that worth my fucking salt. That's what you do. You know, if you live somewhere in paradise, then you get on there and do what the fuck they're doing. But we don't live in paradise. We live in exactly not paradise, you know? And so there's a natural responsibility and a calling on all of us. As I've said to you many times, I don't even know why black women have anything to do with us at all. Ain't shit special about us. Even the dick is shrinking now with all the fucking interracial bullshit. They not getting the guarantee of a big penis anymore. So even if it was just even that, they don't have that anymore so much. That's dying off, you know. We're not providing, we're not protecting, we're not reliable. We don't own, we're not manufacturing, we're not producing. What is there so special about us that black women can't do without us? It is only by their mercy and their kindness that we still can even get the black woman to want us and to be with us. You understand? And for no other reason, we should want to show our women, yeah, we tough. We can take care of this. You know? Because I remember my oldest brother, when I was growing up in Chicago, my oldest brother, I don't know if he was really in the gang. I think he was. Anyways, I just remember when something really went down, they all would assemble and they would take their bats and their chains and shit and they would go handle shit. Like that's what's going down. You know, we we just we've let off the gas so much that they think they can literally approach us. Last night in the live stream, I brought you the video of the brother in Publix. I think it was Sandra that told us that. He thought he could just swing his fucking, the little basket you carry your groceries in and shit, at the brother. Thankfully, that brother gave him biblical fucking justice right there on the set. That's what needs to happen. And that's what needs to happen to this fucker that murdered Jordan Neely. Fuck up investigation and lawyers. We don't need that. Where the motherfucker be at? That's what it is. All law is not white man's law. And most of their shit is invalid anyway. We need to start dictating and articulating and carrying out our own fucking rules. Say, well, that's what y'all do. This is what we do. This is what we do. You see, proclaim our sovereignty right in their face. Because they can't tell any native what to do. Because the natives are not beholden to any of their bullshit. They have their own courts. They have their own police. They have their own law, their own constitution. They have everything. They're not beholden to this white devil in any fucking way. And that's what we ultimately need. To be over fucking white people. Because as long as we allow them to exist and breathe, we will always have problems. That has been true. So it's not like I'm speaking something magical or something, that I'm a foreseer or some shit. We all see what it is. That's what it's been. That's what it is. That's what it's going to be unless something else happens. You understand? A Denmark VZ. You understand? A Nat Turner. Going back to nature. I told you that, I think it's the panda bear? Or was it the baboon? I don't know. There was some nature something I was watching. They were saying how this, I'll just call it pandas for now. They actually go and actively seek out and kill the pups, the babes of leopards and some other shit. Because that's the fuckers that hunt them when they get bigger. So they're like, no, kill their bitch ass off when they get grown. Do that. There's a sign in that for us. There's a sign in that. There's a sign. Remember, nature is not for decoration. It is for information. That's just what it is, everybody. And sadly, we just get more and more detached every time. For me, it's like most of my people, I think, look over at stories like this with like it's a car accident. Ooh, with a sick obsession. For me, I look over at it with disgust because I'm like, okay, I see what happened, but what the fuck are we doing? That's when I get pissed. It's because I don't see no response, no answer to that. Darren Wilson is still fucking alive. How is that even, how? Or any of these fuckers who we could name, and the ones we can't, and this bastard, there's nothing that he's worthy of other than death. The penalty for murder is death. Do you understand? Certainly under Islamic law. That's a dead motherfucker right there. It's a dead bitch. That's it. You took a life, we kill you. That's it. And if more of our people could adopt the way of life that is known as Islam, we would be more protected as a people. Because you notice they don't fuck with Muslims at fucking all. This brother's name was Jordan Neely. It wasn't Abdullah. It wasn't, Kareem Mukmir Assad or something. You see, it's always some non-Muslim somebody. For whatever reason, Allah's protection, we can't rule that out. But you seldom hear our names, ever. And I always tell you, when something becomes a pattern, it's not a coincidence. By default, that it's a pattern. And so if you're not going to fight, then, and if you're not going to move to Africa, you should just die off too. But if you're going to be here, you're going to have to fight. You're going to have to be willing to kill, and you're going to have to be willing to die. But you will not die. Because Allah is with those who fight in the way of righteousness. We're not being aggressors, we're defending. We're at war. There are no innocent white people. There aren't. And as the lady said in the clip I showed, one of the clips I showed for you last night, her answer, which I've said this to you, but if the people say there's good white people, well, where are they? Because if there was, then what have they been doing? Because nothing has changed. We won't see shit that they've done. Because there aren't any good ones. There's just a bunch of fake-ass, grinning-ass white people who want to claim they understand and they don't have any problem and all that. Well, you're guilty, bitch. You're guilty. You're guilty. You just are. We have no refuge in this fucking place. And as it becomes more obvious that their numbers are not what they lie and say they are, they become more desperate. And they are naturally a violent people. So you should always be prepared to deal with them with violence. At all times. Give a fuck if they got a fucking uniform on. That's still a white devil. We don't give a fuck about the job you're doing and what position. We don't. That means nothing. You understand? I don't give a fuck how many stripes a fucking cobra has on it. It's a goddamn cobra. It just is. And I act thusly. Pit bull, same thing. Same thing. It's a sad state of affairs, man. If you know you're a punk bitch, you should either kill yourself or you need to fucking just move to Africa. You understand? Because this is not sustainable, everybody. It's a slow genocide. And then on top of the murdering of you, they continue their microaggression, you know, and picking and picking and picking and terrorizing every fucking day at every level. Man, woman, and ugly ass fucking child and shit. We gotta be over it. Hope you also enjoyed the story that the brother told. By the way, beautiful brother. Didn't he just look like Allah just poured chocolate on his skin? Okay, the mole is finished. All right, pour the chocolate. All right. Beautiful brother. And love the way, I just can't wear my beard up that high. You know, everybody can't do everything. Feel me? But beautiful brother. Loved his story. And hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did, because I was so struck when I first ever saw that story. I was like, oh my God. Wow. Make sure you go see the old man, everybody. Anyway, today I think is Monday. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow. But in the next days, I will be over on Jedi Africa because I want to update everybody over there on my process in my returning home to the Gambia. And the logistics of all of that. So that's going to be the main next thing I want to do over there. And also, I need to finish showing you video from the Gambia. We didn't finish. We had so much technical difficulty the last time that we didn't finish me showing you all the video that I still need to show you. I still have more video that I want to show you from the Gambia. So inshallah, I'll do that show you at least another section of video, and we'll do that. So it's about 5 minutes before the hour on the East Coast. It's almost midnight. This is the perfect landing time. Again, I say to you, everybody, don't ignore. Go and put something either on the Cash App or the GoFundMe. At least $1. If you got more than that, you give that. But don't not give anything. Because your day of need for something could come. And that, you know, I'll say this. One of the things that Muslims do, we have certain surahs of the Quran that we recite when we're about to go to sleep, when we go to bed. One of the things I add to that is I make what is known as istighfar. Istighfar is when you are asking God to forgive you. So it'll be successive. I'll say astaghfirullah, 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 astaghfirullah. And when I start making istighfar, anything that, like all the cussing I've done in this video, this will all come back to me when I'm making istighfar. It's an interesting thing. But I use that example to say that this will come back to you. I don't know when. It will come back. And you'll remember this brother was asked, I went to the GoFundMe, I saw the video he produced. Wow, it was a worthy cause, and I couldn't come off a lousy fucking dollar. It will come back. I don't know how it will, and when it does, it will sting. That's why you always have to do what's right in the moment that you know it's right to do, no matter what it is in life, because it always comes back to bite your ass. It does. I love you guys all. Thank you guys all for coming and being part of the stream. I'm glad we didn't have a whole lot of technical difficulties tonight. Alhamdulillah. And be looking for me in the next day or so over on Jedi Africa. I will continue to pop up over here, everybody, as I feel inspired, because I do need to try and put some blood into this channel just to keep it alive, because I don't really know what else to do with it. So this serves that as well. So have a great evening, and I will see you soon. This is the Jedi.